a shoulder, whatever they could. I mean, the unnecessary roughness, I didn't think should have been a flag, but whatever. But the way they play defense, Robert Saleh has these guys playing. And so he's like, look, I don't need Sauce Gardner to travel. I don't need you to go shut down Stephon Diggs. Just stay to your side. We're going to play our defense. And it works to a point, but their offense is going to have to get better for sure. But, I mean, Mike White today seemed to have it going.
Yeah, I want to dig into that 486 yards of offense that the Jets put on us today. Absolutely unacceptable. What happened in the second half defensively for our favorite team. We may be jumping back to U.S. Bank Stadium, hitting some players down in the locker room. Of course, more of your calls, 800-320-5326. But let's pause briefly, 10 seconds for station identification. It is Minnesota Vikings football.
For Minnesota sports, follow the leader. Minnesota sports leader is FM 100.3, KFXN Minneapolis-St. Paul. The Fan.
Vikings fan line, and let's hop on the phone lines. It's Dylan from Sartell. Welcome to Vikings fan line.
Hey, Noro. Hey, Ron. Yeah, I don't want to take up much of your time. I just want to say, what's with all the coverage? I mean, I know we did okay with the coverage on the defense, but we got to get more blitzing. I mean, Jets did an awesome thing with the blitzing today, and we just didn't. I mean, there was a couple plays that we did awesome with the blitz, got to Mike White, but just that coverage, and then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I just think we should mix it up sometimes with the blitzing and the coverage. Just not all coverage. You know, Ed Donatelli, he's a great defensive coordinator, but I just think mix it up. So I just want to know what you think. So, yeah, happy holidays, guys. Thanks.
Happy holidays. Yeah, that was a big talker. You and I have discussed this. You and I have discussed that, and what we'll do is we'll get back to that. But first, Ben Lieber in the Vikings locker room at U.S. Bank Stadium. He's chatting with Brian O'Neill.
All right, thanks a lot. We are down here in the Vikings locker room with right tackle Brian O'Neill. Look, Brian, I don't know how you guys do it. You guys have set a franchise record. Okay, this is the 9th win by 8 or less points. Why do you guys do that to us?
I don't know. I'd rather not do it to ourselves either, but we'll take the wins any way we can get them. But it was a fun one today for sure.
So we noticed that in the run game, you guys really saw something out on the edge. Not to say that you guys, didn't have some success running the ball on the inside. What did you guys see about this defense in particular that you think could get some yards out on the outside?
Well, we knew coming in, if we pressed it on the inside early, they would sell out to stop it, and we would have some opportunities on the outside. So it was a pretty balanced attack. The coaches had a really good game plan for it. They saw how they were playing it, and then we came off after the first or second drive, and they said, hey, we think we can attack them on the edges a little bit. So hats off to, the play caller, KO, did a great job putting us in good spots, and it was a fun one out there for sure.
All right, so out of the halftime, you guys really got stymied there. You guys only finished with 10 yards in the third quarter. Not sure if you knew that total, but then you guys went out, had a 75-yard touchdown series. How important was that for you guys? Was there any communication about how important that drive was after they just had 9 unanswered points?
Absolutely. We talked in the locker room at halftime of coming out fast, and we weren't able to do that. Third quarter was a little bit of a lull, and we talk about every time right before the game, we say, hey, when it's clutch time, that we're the best unit on the field. And we knew going into that drive, that was a big one. We had, they had some momentum, and it was on us to stop it and bring it back to our side, and that drive was able to do that, thankfully.
With the 10th win for this team, I know that you guys are just building momentum. We talk about how important December is. Where do you feel like the team is right now? I know you guys probably don't feel like you've peaked quite yet, but how much more progress do you want to see out of your offense and this team to get ready for the playoffs?
Well, a lot. KO talked about it this week and even last night is, the results will be what the results are, but we need to continue to get better as a team. At practice throughout the weeks as these games stack up, there's going to be things to work on. There's going to be things to improve on, and let's take an improvement mindset and not just we need to win today. And we need to continue to get better at things and clean up things. And I think he had really good perspective on that throughout the week of, hey, whether we win or lose, we need to continue to keep getting better because it'll pay dividends for us later on.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Enjoy this win, and we'll see you in Detroit, man. A little road game after a little homestand here.
No doubt. Can't wait.
All right, back to you, Nordo.
Thank you. That's Ben Lieber with Vikings right tackle Brian O'Neill, and we will discuss the offensive line. We'll discuss our guy Kirk taking a bunch of hits today, but getting back to that phone call and the idea of blitzing and just how this defense operates on a week-by-week basis. We talked about it fan line last week, Ron, where we loved just in moments when this team actually decides to blitz somebody. Harrison Smith, really first and foremost, he's made a career out of it. Mugging, faking, disguising, 20 yards up, 20 yards back.
Yep.
And we just haven't seen that in 2022. So to that caller's original question, just why aren't we doing that more? Your thoughts?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Me and Pete Bursich had this conversation on the pregame show, and we both said you have to get after them somehow, some way. If you're going to give up 486 yards, why not give up 486 yards hitting somebody in the mouth? Like, why not? You're going to give up the big play in zone, so give it up at least putting pressure on them. And everybody knows this. If a quarterback's in the pocket, and we saw Kirk Cousins do it today, if Kirk Cousins has 1 extra second to that Jalen Reagor throw, it's probably a deeper ball and maybe a touchdown. Who knows? But if a quarterback can feel a free runner, they change the way they're going to throw, the timing of the throw, and they try to protect them. I mean, Kirk threw and tried to duck and cover. And Mike White at no point today felt that way. I mean, there was, I think, 1 or 2 sacks, but there was no real pressure. He got to sit back there. So I don't know. I don't get it. Last week, same thing. 405 yards. If you're going to give up 400 yards of offense, blitz. Have fun. Let guys like Brian Asamoah, who can run like the wind, line up and run around and like like with his hair on fire. Bring Harrison Smith into the box and then let Cam Bynum blitz. Switch it up. Have Chandon Sullivan come off the edge. Cam Bynum played corner all of his college career. He can come down and go one high safety with Harrison Smith, blitz Chandon Sullivan, and just go man across the board and have Cam Bynum become your nickel, because he can do it. He's done it in college, but I don't know. I don't know why they continue to sit back in zone and just let teams pick them apart. But again, you have to look at the positives. 1 out of 6 in the red zone, 5 field goals, 3 out of 16 on third downs, 2 for 5 on fourth downs. So they're bending, but they're not breaking. But I don't know if that's sustainable against a team like the Eagles, because at this point, that's what everybody's waiting for. When are they going to get the Cowboys and the Eagles again, and how are they going to fare against them?
Absolutely. Jake in Rochester, welcome to Vikings Fan Line.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, so my question's about kind of the same thing, the pressure. We were at the game. We didn't notice Zadarius and or Daniil making a huge impact, and we were just wondering if there's something the Jets did to neutralize them, or if it's more of a scheme thing on our side. We'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Jake. Is there anything in particular you did see with the pass rush? Because I don't know. And for me, it looks like Zadarius is a hurting unit, and he's just trying to grind out games as much as he possibly can. So There was a moment, I think it was 3rd and goal on the touchdown they did score. Zadarius wasn't even in the game.
Right.
I mean, it's gotten to that point where they're worried about him just being 100% and having that push. And similarly with Daniil, I can't say that he had an awful game per se. His productivity's kind of been hiding under the radar a lot this year as it is. But we just, to that end of your conversation about blitzing and such, we didn't affect Mike White. Who the hell's Mike White? And why is he going for 360 on us? Let's make him worried a little bit. Let's make him uncomfortable. And 2 guys that we generally can rely on were not effective in that today.
Yeah, well, I mean, even Mike White, I don't know if he's purposely doing it or it's just his instincts kick in, but he did a great job of sliding in the pocket. Every time he felt because I saw Daniil do kind of a dip in, his little dip and run and hop move he does. The minute it happened, you saw Mike White kind of move over a little bit to make it a little bit farther run for him. Patrick Jones did get to him. But again, Zadarius Smith if he is injured or if he is hurt and he's playing hurt, the tough part about resting a guy like that to say, look, we just need you for the playoffs. Let's get you back healthy. Is you don't want to give up too much ground to the Eagles if you have a chance. If you do have a chance, because, again, you're 1 game back. Well, 2 technically because they beat you.
They got to lose 2 more games.
You're 2 games back. So at this point with 5 games, maybe you get to the Bears game, and if that point the Eagles haven't lost and the Vikings haven't lost, you just say, you know what, there's no real way to catch them because of the Eagles' last 2 games. We don't think they're going to lose those. So then let's give him a full 3 weeks of rest, that week, then the next week, and then the next game week against the Packers. If that's the case, that's what you have to figure out. But Patrick Jones is playing well, so I would not be afraid to just rest him until he's back and let Patrick Jones. Same with Caleb Evans. He went back and looks like, concussion guy hit hard, and then all of a sudden Duke Shelley comes in, does his job. So that's the tough thing about these injuries. Christian Darrisaw didn't go today. So, that's the thing about late in the season is everybody's playing hurt, everybody's banged up. Can they limp across the finish line and actually make a run in the playoffs if they have to face the Commanders in that first round?
Nate from Plymouth, welcome to Vikings Fan Line.
Hey, guys. So, you know what? I've changed my take a little bit because you guys have talked about the inconsistencies, obviously, of the defense and the blitzing and so forth. But at the end of the day, what did we do differently with the fourth quarter drive where we just methodically pushed it down the field, touchdown, no problem, and then we had 6 drives or whatever the count might have been to do basically nothing? And by the way, guys, that pitch in the end zone killed me. I thought we were going to get a safety or something happen. But I'm curious, Ron, what do you think changed with the Vikings offense for that one drive? Appreciate you guys. Happy holidays, man. We'll hang up and listen.
Happy holidays, absolutely. Yeah, I think we had 4 3-and-outs in the second half.
Yep.
But then out of nowhere, you give up that field goal, staying strong in the red zone yet again, the shorty from Zerline.
Yep.
And then you just march 7 for 75, nearly 4 minutes off the clock, and we're right back in this, right? And at 27-15, it almost kind of felt how much time was left. This was midway through the fourth quarter, that this was going to be the first week, Ron, that we finally just put our boot down, shut the door, and we're able and maybe just milk this thing into a victory. Naturally, they ensue and follow up with a 5-play, 75-yard touchdown drive of their own.
Right.
Because Garrett Wilson just can't be stopped. But here we are. Do you see any inconsistencies with the offense that, at least for one drive, led to pay dirt?
Yeah, it felt like, and I remember Glenn Mason said this. He talked about the Penn State game when Minnesota beat Penn State like in 1999, and he said he had told himself, be patient all game, and then he threw a Hail Mary from the 20 and was just like, screw it. I can't be patient anymore. Let's just go after this and see if we can win. And that's what it felt like, because if you look at that drive, Kevin O'Connell didn't face second down until the 5th play. Like he went first down, got another first down, got another, like one play. He was just getting big chunk after big chunk play. So I don't know if he went to like the back of his play sheet. I don't know if he had this waiting in his little, hey, I'm going to do this. And then 2nd down and 8, another decent, play to Cook. You're like, hey, let's try to figure this out. And then JJ, just ridiculous. Like that, the best hezzy I've ever seen. Like, I don't think Chris Paul or Ja Morant could have done it even better on the basketball court. That hesitation completely made the DB kind of freeze. Like, wait, what? Why are you stopping? Like,
can you explain that for me a little bit? Because you came in here singing about this move that JJ put into his route. That just if you watch, he runs up. So at the top of the route, most guys give you like a head fake left, and then I'm going to go right, or I'm going to give you a head fake right, and I'm going to go left, or I'm going to do a little shimmy, and I'm going to try to make you think. He just stopped. Like his body was an absolute toothpick at the top of the route, and he stopped. And so, one, if I'm a DB and you just stop, I'm probably thinking like, oh, you're a decoy. Where is the action? Or it's a screen. I literally, when I saw Justin stop, I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Like, is this a screen? And then he stops and boom, it picks up pace right away. Kirk Cousins throws it before he gets out the break. I mean, it was beautiful. I've never seen a hezzy at the top of a route where you just stop. Like, he just stopped. And so, even in that instance, like, that was just Kevin O'Connell. And I'm pretty sure it was an out route. He didn't say, whatever out route hezzy. Yeah. That's probably just the play. You have an out, so-and-so has a shallow. Justin that's in his bag. Like, he went to his bag and said, hey, I'm going to try to hezzy here. And it worked, and the fact that they don't jam him at the line of scrimmage makes it even better, because if I get jammed at the line, I can't really run a hezzy, but like the fact that they're playing off, they were playing catch technique to say, I'm going to catch you in the end zone and then I'm going to let you do, I'm going to try to stop you from running where you go. Man, he hezzied him. So like I said, like if you watch Devin Booker, I mean, that it looked like LeBron James or somebody out there. Like, it was ridiculous. It was basketball on turf. And that's what a lot of football players say that play basketball. Like, man, I'm out here just playing football, basketball on turf. Like, I'm going to go up and high point it, or I'm going to do a cross. I mean, watch Stephon Diggs release. He actually does a crossover on guys like he has a fake ball in his hand. So that's just some of the stuff those guys work in the offseason. But again, that just proves Justin Jefferson is a step ahead of everybody else right now. Because that's and watch. In the next 2 weeks, you're going to see more receivers now add the hezzy to their bag, because they're going to see it on film. They're going to see it on, all the networks are going to play it. And then everybody's like, oh, man, I'm going to add that to my bag now. And then the hezzy is going to become a thing. But just remember, Justin Jefferson started it. Yeah, JJ, absolutely a trendsetter in the NFL for high-end wide receiver play. 27-22 is the final. Vikings win another one-score, overly dramatic affair at U.S. Bank Stadium. The key is, though, is that they won. So the Vikings are 10-2, well ahead, on the verge of hoisting the NFC North banner, and more to come with 5 games remaining in the regular season. 800-320-5326 is the phone number. Brian, Lou, Kenny, Danny, everybody on hold. We're going to get to your calls. Also, talkbacks with the free iHeartRadio app. Hit that microphone. Give us your best 30 seconds, and we'll party together. It's Vikings Fan Line. Ron Johnson's here. I'm Nordo from 9 to noon. This is Minnesota Vikings football.
The holidays are for making memories, and Honda can help. Whether it's hauling presents in a Ridgeline, going sledding in a Pilot, or traveling in a Passport or CR-V. Make memories during Happy Honda Days. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.9% APR on a 2023 Honda CR-V, 2.9% APR on a 2022 Passport or 2023 Ridgeline, and a 1.9% APR on a 2022 Pilot.
For great deals, visit your Greater Twin Cities Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details.
All right, who's ready to go to soccer, huh?
Yes!
It started as a normal Saturday, but then...
Oh, no. Sounds like the battery.
That's when their plans took a turn for the worse.
Oh, I knew I should have had the battery checked.
Dad, look at the birds.
Those are vultures!
Don't let a bad battery turn your day into a B-rated horror film. Get your battery checked today. Need a new one? Reach for what works. A battery from FVP. Verified, proven.
Would you be interested in something that tastes sweet and savory, low in fat and calories, a great source of protein and calcium that's easy to digest and includes more vitamins and minerals? Hi, this is Frankie Lensmeyer for The Humble Goat by Stickney Hill Dairy. Our team has created some delicious flavors like chocolate chip cannoli. We truly believe that children and adults will both enjoy our goat cheese. It's like a cream cheese, but more nutritious. Visit The Humble Goat on social media. We're award-winning. Ask your local grocer for The Humble Goat.
As a proud partner of the Minnesota Vikings, Pendleton Whiskey is your perfect companion on game day. Regarded as the whiskey of true Western tradition, Pendleton Whiskey captures the unique spirit of the brave and bold adventurer in every bottle. Made with the finest northern grains and cut with Mount Hood glacier water. Grab every Viking game day by the horns with Pendleton Whiskey. Pendleton Distillers, Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Please drink responsibly. Let her buck.
We are rubes like you, and we talk Vikings football every day, too. Join us weekdays 9 to noon. Now back to Vikings football.
So now it's 1st and 10 from the Jets 14, and Kirk Cousins goes under center. TJ Hawkinson tight end to the right. KJ Osborne with one catch, short motion to the left. Jets blitz, handoff, Madison room. To the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Vikings! It once was said, you live by the blitz and you die by the blitz. Alexander Madison just made them pay. It's 16-3 Minnesota.
Paul Allen on the call. That touchdown by Alexander Madison, a 14-yarder. 3 carries for 14 yards, but one of them counted for 6. We like that. And Alexander Madison, by the way, U.S. Bank Stadium, Vikings locker room with Gabe Henderson. We'll get back to Vikings Fan Line momentarily, but let's hear from number 2.
10-2 radio. We got Alexander Madison. A lot of players talking about you right now with the celebration, the touchdown celebration. Can you walk Vikings fans through what was going on there?
It actually been something in the works for a little bit. I saw the celebration happen in MLB and in soccer as well. So it was like, you know what? If I get a score and there's enough space around me, I'm gonna hit it. And I was kind of committed to it in my head for a couple weeks. And yeah, so when I had a hole open up, the O-line, they blocked it perfect and hit the crease. And after that, it was just kind of a moment that just popped the light in my head and said, you know what, do it. And, yeah.
It worked out, and it went viral on social media. I know you probably haven't checked your phone yet, but another thing that's going viral on social media is this Vikings team is 10-2. Describe the locker room, describe this feeling, even though you guys are putting the entertainment in the Vikings Entertainment Network.
Man, it's a wonderful feeling, to be in this position, to continue to put together wins, to continue to overcome adversity. It's something that just you build a different type of chemistry that anybody could ever imagine. And so the way that we just continue to do that week in and week out, we're growing as a family, we're growing as a football team, and the scary part is we know that we haven't even played close to our best football yet. So we're just excited to continue to stack on that and correct our wrongs and build on our rights.
How encouraging is that? You just hit a good point. 10-2, still haven't played your best football. First half, I believe, was phenomenal. 189 yards. Both of you guys, you and Dalvin, both had a rushing touchdown. How do you guys continue to build on this, even though you haven't played your best football?
just go to the drawing board, understand where we can be better at and be better. And, some of those things, you just understand how the game goes. Sometimes things don't go in your favor. Those guys are getting paid on the other side of the ball to play at the highest level. So, there's respect in that regard as well. But just understanding that we can be so much better is something that is really motivating for us.
Yeah, these are the games you have to win, and we do it. You made a good point. That is a really good defense over there, and those guys get paid too. Congratulations.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's Gabe Henderson, Vikings.com, Vikings Entertainment Network, with running back Alexander Madison. This is Vikings Fan Line, 800-320-5326, 1-800-320-5326. And let's jump right back to the phone lines here. Patrick from St. Paul, welcome to Vikings Fan Line.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good, thank you.
Awesome. Hey, I was at the game and I was sitting there thinking at halftime that I thought the first half was the best half of tackling we've had all season, and I shouldn't have thought it because then I thought the second half was the worst tackling we've done all season. Did you guys feel that we kind of either we thought we had it in the bag or what? Because I felt like we really didn't buckle down in the second half. But hey, 10-2, can't complain too much. I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, your thoughts on that, Ron? Early on, I think it's 20-6 at halftime, and you had allowed a total of about 150 yards.
Yep.
And the fact that you had allowed 400 plus in each of the last three games, you're thinking, okay, defense is here a little bit. Patrick Jones gets that early sack. The tackling that he mentions, I thought it was a massive issue in the second half. Once again, a tale of two halves in a Vikings game. How about that?
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the second quarter, they got no first down. So the defense was doing their job. You saw guys flying around. I'm not sure if it was like second half they came out kind of sluggish, but early in the season, too, with the Vikings, the first 7 games, I think they were 31st in the NFL as far as third down or third quarter offense. So you can't put it on just the defensive tackling changing. The offense for the Vikings as well got stagnant in the second half. And that's a huge problem. If you're putting your defense back on the field too much. I mean, the offense for the Vikings has 66 plays, and I think 83 is what they end up getting. And so 83 plays, that's a long time to be on the field. And so it eventually starts to wear on you. So I don't think it was just the fact that they were missing tackles. I think it was a little bit of just fatigue as well because they had been on the field so much.
Danny from New Richmond, welcome to Vikings Fan Line.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I haven't had a heart attack yet from watching these Vikings, but we still got some time. Actually, I'd have more of a statement than a question, but I'm getting really worried about Kirk getting blasted from the pass rush. And today, one of those hits looked pretty bad, but I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, he's taken a lot more hits without any calls than any quarterback, I feel like, in the league. But just wondering what we do about that, and if there's just something I'm not seeing that maybe you guys have. I'll hang up and listen, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, Kirk's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know about the penalties, but I mean, he's getting smacked around big time.
Yeah, my tweet said he played like a grown-ass man today. I mean, when you see some of the hits he was taking, some of the fact he saw a guy barreling down and still threw not a strike, but threw it to Jalen Reagor, and he put everything he could into it knowing I'm about to get hit. And so he played like a man. Like Kirk, even the scramble, like he knew he was going to get hit. And here's the big thing. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were 10-2 and Tom Brady had the exact same stats of Kirk Cousins, he would be one of the lead vote getters right now for the MVP for the league at 10-2 with the Buccaneers, because they would be like, oh, Tom Brady's about to win another Super Bowl and Giselle was just in the way and now Tom Brady is an MVP and blah, blah. Kirk Cousins does it. It's like, well, look how good Justin Jefferson is. Look how good he has T.J. Hockenson now. Like, Adam Thielen's one of the best, too. Like, we forget that. And KJ Osborne. Like, Kirk Cousins is still making the throws. And so it's just – and to his point about the calls, if that were Tom Brady, maybe some of those calls get called. Kirk's tough. Like, he's not laying on the ground crying for flags. Every hit, he doesn't look up at the referee like, hey, man, like, they're hitting me. Kirk just gets up and goes about his business, and so you got to respect that. But if you don't cry and whine, like people laughed about LeBron flopping, and then NBA players starting to flop. They start flopping because they were like, "Look, when I get beat up and I play man ball and I'm tough, they don't blow the whistle."
Right.
So when I flop, then they're like, "Oh, okay, that was a foul. Here we go. Here you go. Here you go, Mr. James. Here's your free throws." Like so that's what football play like quarterbacks that whine. They eventually, like the noisy wheel, whatever gets greased or whatever, however you say it. So Kirk's not a noisy wheel. Like, he's not out there whining for it. So they're not going to throw the flag.
Kenny in Rochester, welcome to Vikings Fan Line.
Hey, thanks. I wonder, do you think there's a scenario the rest of the season where Jalen Reagor gets a few more touches? And I'm not sure if he should or if he shouldn't, but did we really trade for the guy just to be a punt returner?
Thanks, Kenny.
I don't know if he should.
Well, how about this?
Should not.
You know, it's one thing, we mentioned it at the feast on Friday, and you had asked about it, even last week after the New England game, because Jalen had the one catch for 25 on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah.
Comes back today. Could have been a touchdown, but Kirk, again, was getting murdered all day.
Yep.
But he still comes back, makes good on it for 38. The idea, again, that speed option that just kind of makes people have to pay attention to somebody else other than number 18. 2 games in a row now, Jalen's got a taste of the offense.
Yeah, that boy can run. The boy is good. Like, he can run. And so you have to. And I said this on the show with you and PA, the fan feast. You got Adam Thielen. You got KJ Osborne. I'm not even putting Justin, because you don't take Justin Jefferson off the field. You never do that.
He's there.
You never do that. That's like taking pepperoni off of a pizza. Don't do it. But with Justin Jefferson, you got to have him out there. Adam Thielen, could you take him off? Maybe for a couple plays. One, he's playing a little banged up too, so get him a rest, get him a breather. Could you take KJ Osborne off? Yeah, you could. Do you take TJ Hockenson out? I probably don't. But then at what point do you take those guys out? Because they are just as good. They're just as, like, Adam Thielen's important. KJ Osborne's important. So I think it's more of like how do you do it? Like, how do you get this guy on the field? Like, because I can't take one of my running backs out because Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison are good. So it's tough. Like, it's a tough balancing act of a head coach to do this. And that's what Kevin O'Connell has to figure out. Like, how do I get Jalen Reagor in? Because he is a walking bucket every once in a while because of his speed. Like, he's going to get you something.
Yeah.
And if you look at his ability, let's not forget, the Eagles did not think he could do what he's doing, which is like some of these deep balls. He came back to that ball.
Yep.
I don't know if first-year Jalen Reagor comes back to that ball. I think he gets washed through with the DBs. He fought through knowing it was up in the air, and he still made the catch. So, I mean, yeah, maybe a change of scenery like Chris Carter said when he was on my show. Sometimes a change of scenery is what some players need, and maybe that's Jalen Reagor.
800-320-5326, 1-800-320-5326. It's Vikings Fan Line. Ron Johnson is here. I'm Nordo from 9 to noon, and Brian from Eden Prairie. You're now joining us. What's up, Brian?
Hi, guys. I enjoy always listening to your show. I guess I've been a little frustrated about the pass rush, but I thought, well, new defense, these guys have got to learn it. But now I guess I'm starting to think maybe we don't have good enough linebackers to run the 3-4 defense, and I'll hang up and listen to what you have to say.
All right, thanks, Brian.
Erroneous on all counts. You got Jordan Hicks, you got Eric Kendricks, you got Zadarius Smith, you got Danielle Hunter. I would say the reverse. I don't think we have the linebackers to go back to a 4-3. Like, you need an Anthony Barr. Like, you need an outside true backer. Like, you can go Jordan Hicks, Anthony Barr, Eric Kendricks, and then Zadarius goes to DN, but I don't think Zadarius could play a true, like Will or Sam linebacker where he has to play in space a ton and he can't just rush the quarterback and then drop back into coverage. We have the guys to play a 3-4. Like, that's who, 3-4. That's who they picked up. That's who they, like, we don't have the linebackers for a 4-3 anymore. And that's like Brian Asamoah. He's more of an inside helper guy. Like, he's not your thumper. He can run sideline to sideline and make plays and be, disruptive. So that's why I say, no, we don't have the linebackers right now for, like, you don't have a Ray Lewis, Bart Scott, Ned Hartwell. You know what I mean? A C.J. Mosley. Like, you don't have that. You have guys that can run. Like, you have Eric Kendricks who can do either. You have Jordan Hicks that can do either. But you're missing that one piece to go back to a 4-3.
What do you think about Kendrick's size? Because that was one conversation making
He's
that
probably
transition.
the same size as Ray Lewis, to be honest. I've not even looked at how big he is in years, but I'm pretty sure him and Ray Lewis are the same size.
But issues, do you ever see issues arise where Kendricks he's gonna have to go up against more offensive linemen? I mean, the key to this is keeping him as clean as possible,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
And
the 4-3 hides him.
And so Dalvin Tomlinson being back, that's an important factor.
Yes.
But now him having to break off some of those blocks, that can create problems if we're not keeping him clean on the defensive line. But that's not Kendricks' fault per se.
No. And it's schemable, But I don't know. I just remember Ray Lewis was pissed off, too, when the Ravens went from a 4-3 to a 3-4 when they drafted Terrell Suggs, because Suggs was not a true linebacker, and he's not a true defensive end. He was an outside rush guy, and the Ravens were like, look, Ray, this kid can be good, but you got to help us out.
Ended up working out pretty well.
It worked out
Ray.
pretty well. Worked out really well. Bart Scott moved inside with Ray. Ed Hartwell, they figured it out. And that's where I think the Vikings are with Eric Kendricks right now, where they're going to figure it out. But you got to scheme. Like with your cock nose, whoever's the nose, whoever's shading the center guard, you just got to be a little bit more handsy. You got to hold a guy knowing you're taking up 2. Like it's a flag, but you get away with it. Like look at all the holding today we saw with Wanham getting hit. I mean, they're not going to call every single one. So just do a little hold and free your guy up, let him shoot through. And I mean, until that guy starts whining to the ref, hey man, they're holding me, you got to watch this. Okay, then let it go. But in those big spot moments, just grab them. Knowing it's a run, just hold your guy. Play team ball. Let Eric Kendricks go get the ball because, hey, he's faster, he's stronger, he's smarter. He's going to make the tackle. Sorry, he's not smarter. I'm not going to – sorry, defensive line. But he's faster. So he's going to make that tackle. So sorry, defensive linemen. Linebackers are not smarter than you.
Vikings fan line, Vikings win 27-22. Vikings are now 10-2. Just 2 awful losses, one in Philly, one against the Cowboys. The rest have been W's for the purple and gold. Next up, a road game at Detroit. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to more of your calls as well. Vikings fan line continues. Sean, Lou, Steve, Stuart, Darren, Tom, all of you. Talkbacks in the hopper. I'm Nordo from 9 to noon. Ron Johnson's here. Stick with us, Vikings fan line. This is Minnesota Vikings football.
At Chevy, the holidays mean doing things you love to do with friends and family. To make new memories on the trails in a Silverado 1500. Share new moments with old friends in the Chevy Blazer. And to take the family new places in the Chevy Equinox. Chevy makes it easier to make the most of your time with the people who matter most. Head into your local Chevy dealer first to find your red tag and find your deal. Where you go from there is up to you. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Nothing beats being in the stands for live Minnesota Vikings football. From those nail-biting passes to pivotal plays to the game-winning touchdowns. You can be there for all the action this season. As the official ticket marketplace of the NFL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of seats so you never miss a game. Score tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Minnesota Vikings. Get your tickets today. That's Ticketmaster.com/Minnesota Vikings.
Hey Vikings fans, you could win a Victor's Ride or a prize pack from Pepsi. Make sure to grab the commemorative Pepsi Vikings Cup when you're cheering on the team at US Bank Stadium. Download the Vikings app, then simply scan your Vikings Cup or select augmented reality in the Vikings app to unlock Vikings photo filters. Share your photo or video using hashtag VikingsGameFace for your chance to win. No purchase necessary. Visit Vikings.com/VikingsGameFace for official rules and details. Sweepstakes ends February 13th, 2023.
Martin Marietta, an American-based company, is a leading producer of heavy building materials and the top supplier of asphalt to the Twin Cities. Guided by values like safety, integrity, and stewardship, Martin Marietta strives to provide the materials on which our communities grow. Visit martinmarietta.com to learn more. Interested in a career with a rock-solid team offering competitive pay and benefits? Visit careersthatcrush.com to apply today. Skol, Vikings!
The Twin Cities home for Vikings talk. FM 100.3 KFAN. The Fan.
3rd and 6 from the Jets 10. Kirk out of the shotgun, straight drop. Looking to the right, throwing to the right. Has a man, and that man is good. Touchdown! He's JJ! And the Vikings have taken a 26-15 lead.
Welcome back. It's Vikings fan line. Any Wild fans out there, just so you know, on our sister station, Cool 108, 107.9. It's not only a cool Christmas, it's Wild hockey. And I don't know what the hell is going on here, but the freaking Dallas Stars scored 4 in the 3rd period to tie it up at 5 and force overtime. Ridiculous. So hopefully you hear Mr. O'Donnell and company call a game winner in OT on Cool 108. Vikings were winners today, 27-22, and now are 10-2. 9 of those victories coming with 1 possession or fewer in terms of points. Fan line phone lines, 800-320-5326. Lou in Minneapolis, welcome.
Yeah, hey, fellas. Thanks for taking my call. To kind of piggyback off of the last conversation, I feel like the identity of the defense has been written here for the last, I don't know, to me, 4 to 5 weeks, where it's very clearly a bend but don't break. I think I saw a stat a couple weeks ago where we were, I don't know, like 29th or 30th in the NFL in red zone defense, but also we were first or second best between the 20s. Like, they had the fewest attempts inside the red zone. So, I don't know. It just feels to me like the fans have very high expectations of the defense coming with, defensive scheme change, new personnel. And, I mean, it's going to take time, and I think it will get better, but I don't know. I just wanted to get your guys' take on that. I mean, I've seen signs of improvement, and I think we're seeing it happen in front of us, but do we have too high of expectations for this defense? I'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate it, Lou. Do we? Well, I don't know what my expectations were with the scheme change. I just expected competence, if that makes sense. I mean, just kind of the idea of bringing in Zadarius Smith. Yeah. You know, at the end of the Zimmer tenure, the last 2 seasons, it was that mass exodus at the end of 2019 where that sent the Linval Josephs and Xavier Rhodes and Trey Waynes and Everson Griffin gone for 2020. You send all those guys out. We didn't replace them with starter caliber talent. Defense suffered. So fast forward now, you move to the 3-4, and you have Zadarius Smith. You now have a healthy Danielle Hunter, by the way, for the first time in 2 years.
Yep.
I did anticipate a better-looking defense than what I have right now. Where was your head at on that?
Yeah, on paper, champions. Like, if you look at the defensive names on paper, Zadarius Smith, Danielle Hunter, Eric Kendricks, you got Jordan Hicks, you got Harrison Smith, who's a future Hall of Famer most likely. You got Patrick Peterson. Cam Dantzler was a question mark, and then you see him play earlier. Like, man, this guy's going to be good.
It might work. Yeah.
It was so many question marks with his defense. Channing Sullivan being added. Oh man, his kids. Same thing. Good. Like, he's doing his job. Like, he doesn't pop up on film, and you're like, man, what is shit? And then you go back and you look at the rush, and you look at the rush attempts. The defensive line is doing what they can do, but there's no way every single time you can just beat your guy up. You have to scheme it. Like, there's the days of like Lawrence Taylor being able to go one-on-one with the tackle nonstop. It just doesn't happen anymore with a lot of these schemes where there's a lot of help. There's a guy chipping every time. There's a tight end that's going to hit. I mean, there's a lot. So how do you do it? You got to go underneath. But Ben Lieber brought this up. Mike White is getting rid of the ball with like 2 seconds. Like, he's quick. He gets rid of the ball very fast. So are you able to get home? Like, Danielle Hunter jumping up in the air, making Mike White kind of pump it, and then he knocks the ball down. Like, that's some of the stuff you got to do on a guy that has a quick trigger like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was able to sit back there every once in a while and just throw bombs.
Man.
Like, at one throw after the next. And I agree. I don't think the expectation is too high. I just think Ed Donatel needs to sit down, turn on John Madden's video game, and look up some of the blitzes on there, because I don't know if it's the gamer that you're playing against.
Sure, that's what he's going to do.
But those blitzes work. So, like, they came from somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody drew them up.
If Wade Phillips won't answer your phone calls,
hey, check with Madden.
Go to Madden.
But you know what I mean? Like, the twists and the like late, because some of the late rushes where I forgot who hit the hole late, but the guys were coming in late and hitting it. Like, do it, move around a bunch. Like, go chaotic. Like, if like Mike Pettin said they have it, because I asked him that. He said, we do have it. Like, we have that control chaos type of rate. Because I know of it from the Ravens. Like, when Ed Reed, I think second or third year, when Reed and those guys start doing that, where they are all at the line of scrimmage, and you don't know who's coming. He said they have that, but you know what I mean? Like, I think we've seen it once or twice.
Right.
So why not just do it more? Like, if I know I'm going to lose a fight, I'm taking your teeth out with me. Like, you might beat me up, but we're both going to look like we were in a fight. And I think that's where Donatel needs to take his mind to. Like, look, our defense might give up. Okay, I'm taking, like, not to say Dan Campbell was right, but take the kneecaps.
Yeah.
Like, you got to do something. You got to hit them.
Steve in Wisconsin, welcome to Vikings Fan Line.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call. 10-2, I'll take it, even though the defense drives me nuts. But my question is on the offense. The Vikings screen plays. It drives me absolutely nuts. I don't know what they're doing. I don't think we've had a screen play that has worked all year long, but yet we try it 2-3 times a game. I just wanted to get your guys' input on why isn't it working? It seems to work for every team that plays against us. But our screen plays have been for negative yardage or no yards or little yardage at all. I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Steve. And I know earlier in the year, and I question this too. So earlier when we were in London, Alexander Madison scored on that sweet screenplay. I think it was 3rd and goal from the 15 or something like that. And he got into the end zone. JJ had an offensive PI call the play before. But the screen game has been problematic. And I don't know if that's a function of the offensive line. Are we not getting the right looks there? Is it just obvious? What do you see?
Yeah, so with screens specifically, like let's just talk screens, there's a lot that goes into setting them up. There's a lot of plays you have to run beforehand to set them up. And again, coaches, we talked about this with Justin Gard and on the PJ Flex show. Coaches work on this stuff all day, every day, all week. They work on the plays to set it up. How can we get to this look? And then you go through those progressions, and then when it's like, okay, this was the next call on my list, which was the screen, sometimes it just doesn't work. Like you want the favorable look, but if the defensive line is on high alert or the offensive lineman gives it away because he lets the guy through too fast. Like TJ Hawkinson, for instance, it wasn't a screen, but it was like that hideaway, and then he was wide open. He did a great job. He didn't just release. He kind of blocked and made it and kind of fell through as if I missed the block, and nobody figured it out. Kirk Cousins just drastically overthrew him. But yeah, screens are tough. So I don't really know the answer to that. I just know there are a number of different ways to run screens. Some people run double screens so that if you guess one side, I still got the second side to go, and that's called split screen. I don't know what the answer is. I just feel like, just throw it back in the backfield to JJ and let him create. Because even on his mistake, his botched play, he still made it exciting and got yards. But, yeah, I don't think there's an answer. I just think maybe there's something that they're giving away on film maybe, or in the play call within the screen, the offensive line is tipping their hat.
That's Ron Johnson. I'm Eric Nordquist, Nordo from 9 to noon. This is Minnesota Vikings Fan Line. The Vikings are 10-2, regardless of their inability to execute screens, regardless of their inability to stop Mike freaking White from putting 360 on him. 27-22 is the final. Vikings victorious, double-digit victories. We love seeing that. First time since 2019 when they went 10-6 and got a road playoff game down at the Dome and won it. 800-320-5326, 800-320-5326. Talkback feature on the free iHeartRadio app is an option as well. Hit that microphone. Give us your best 30 seconds. We're going to continue not only taking your calls around the corner, but really covering this Vikings victory up until coverage of Sunday Night Football at 6:30. So we got plenty of time to chat about this thing. Ron's here. I'm Nordo. This is Vikings Fan Line on KFAN and the Minnesota Vikings Radio Network.
Hello, Tom Butler here from the Fox 9 Morning News, wishing you a very happy holiday season. We're excited to say we're bringing back the holiday card exchange and Primp Our Tree, so send us an ornament and we'll include it when we deliver that tree to a local family in need. And while you're at it, send us one of your family's cards and we'll send you one of ours in return. You can find our address at fox9.com or pinned to our Facebook page. Thanks again for watching and have a happy holiday season.
Hey, so listen up. Quick Trip is teaming up with your Northland Ford dealers to give away a new Ford F-150 to one of you lucky Vikings fans and the opening drive sweepstakes. Just fuel up at Quick Trip with any of our fully guaranteed gasolines, use your Quick Rewards card, and you're entered. Weekly winners win a $10 gas card for every yard return on the Vikings opening drive and a shot at winning a Ford F-150. Hey, Vikings score on that opening drive, it's an extra $500 for you. See QuickTrip.com/sweepstakes for details, and see you next time.
Hey, Vikings fans, when you stay at Omni Viking Lakes, you stay at the official hotel of your favorite team. We built this place just for real fans like yourself, even putting it right next to the practice facility. Walk in the hotel, and it's like walking into Vikings heaven. You've dreamt of a place like this, and now you can dream in a place like this. Score! So Vikings fans, when you're looking for a place to stay in the game at Omni Viking Lakes, the official hotel of the Minnesota Vikings.
Hey fans, Pilot Games has teamed up with the Minnesota Vikings to create the Vikings Victory electronic pull tab game. Play in more than 1,700 bars across the state and win up to $1,500 in the Skull bonus game. Pilot Games is the largest charitable gaming provider in the state. When you play Vikings Victory, your community wins. Play Vikings Victory today, anywhere Pilot's electronic pull tabs are offered. Visit pilotgames.com for more information.
4th and 10 from the Vikings 19. Minnesota leads by 5. Za'Darius Smith comes flying up the center. Mike White hit as he throws to the goal stripe, and it's intercepted by Cam Bynum. And that is your ball game. Cam Bynum with the second interception for him this season. Second today for Mike White. Why wouldn't it come down to the wire? Why wouldn't it be a spine tingler? Why wouldn't Mike White be throwing into the end zone trying to win the game? That's 2022 Minnesota Vikings football. And with 10 seconds to go in the game, this time it was Cam Bynum to close festivities, and the Vikings are going to win 27-22.
+2 in the take-give earlier today at U.S. Bank Stadium. Vikings creating 2 turnovers. You heard one of them there to finish things off. And, of course, Harrison Smith with his 33rd or 34th career interception. I heard that he now leads all active players in picks. We dig that. We dig you for listening to Vikings Fan Line. 27-22 is the final. Wild and Dallas Stars, it appears, are going to a shootout. And you can hear how that finishes up on our sister station, Cool 108. 800-320-5326 is the phone number. Let's get back to the phone lines. How about Tom in Litchfield? Tom, welcome to Vikings Fan Line.
Hey, this is John from Litchfield. I just got 2 questions. Wondering about your thoughts on Danielle Hunter on his rushing, the quarterback, and also talks about JJ on MVP. Super Bowl!
John in Litchfield. Danielle Hunter's pass rush and JJ for MVP.
Well, I'm not even talking about Danielle Hunter's pass rush. We know he's an elite pass rusher. We know he can get there. But again, if you're not giving him free lanes, if it's a confusing pass rush where guys are getting in each other's way, it doesn't work. So we're not even talking about that. Let's talk about this MVP. JJ's not going to win the MVP unless he goes for over 2,000 yards. And even then, he still might not do it because voters are dumb. There's been 0 receivers to ever win the MVP.
Well, someone's got to throw him the ball, Ron.
There was a kicker. In 1982, a kicker, Mark Mosley, won the frickin' NFL MVP. How do you vote a kicker to be the NFL MVP and never vote for a receiver? There's been running backs. There's been 18 players, non-quarterbacks, ever since 1961. Has there ever been a receiver? No. Randy Moss? No. Jerry Rice? No. Terrell Owens? No. Calvin Johnson? No. So Justin Jefferson might make history as the first receiver, but, I mean, Lawrence Taylor's done it. So, there's been 2 defensive guys in that. And Alan Page, Vikings guy, was one of them, 1971. It's crazy. So, no, JJ, he has to go for 2,000 yards because the voters don't get it. In my opinion, yes, he should be the MVP of a 9-2 team, but he has to go crazy because I don't think Cooper Kupp got it, and he had I don't think he didn't get it, and he had a ridiculous year and got the Triple Crown. So, it's a tough vote.
Wes Chandler, 1982, 49 receptions, 1,032 yards. He led the NFL.
And the
MVP,
kicker.
and the kicker won it.
Mark Mosley. You put a kicker as your MVP. Who voted for the kicker to be the MVP?
Hey, Darren in
1998, though, I think the Vikings kicker could have been MVP if he made that.
Okay. Darren in Avon, welcome to Vikings Fan Line.
Hey, guys. So I was just wondering, we're 10-2 now, obviously, and I'm curious what you think our record will be after Week 18, and if you think we'll stay number 2 seed. I'll hang up and listen.
Ooh, dig it. All right, thank you, Darren. Okay, we got 5 games left. We are at Detroit next weekend.
Yep. Then you got the Colts.
And we got Indy and Giants here.
Yep. And then you got the Bears and the Packers.
At Pack, at Bears to end the season. Where do you sit us? Where do you put us?
I think they can win all 5.
Okay.
I mean, you look at the teams they have coming in here, and the teams that, I mean, the Giants are going to be tough with Saquon Barkley on the ground. I mean, they just make Mark White look like, I don't even know. Like, I can't even think of a quarterback they made him look like Mike Vick.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, basically, they let him just run all over the field, throw all over the field. But, yeah, I mean, I think they can be a two-loss team in the end. I think it could be a 15-2?
15-2.
But I don't think the Eagles are going to lose.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I'll give them. I'll say 13-4, and I don't know where the 2 are going to come from here. Detroit kind of worries me a bit. I mean, they just dropped 40, and not that the Jaguars are going anywhere other than just slowly in the kind of right direction. But Detroit scares me. Our defense is weird. We had to get that game winner from KJ just to win the first time at our spot. Indianapolis doesn't really scare me. They're just not very dynamic.
Yep.
Giants, Saquon's a thing. And then you go to at Pack and you go at Bears. The Bears seem to be falling apart. So I'm going to chalk that up. I'm going to say 13-4 is where we'll end up. I think we'll
So
remain.
you think a Lions loss and then the Giants loss?
Or maybe we lose at Lambeau. I don't know. I'm just saying
that's going to be Jordan Love's game at that point. I'm pretty sure.
Two over the final 5.
I don't think A-Rod is going to play that last game against the Vikings.
But to that caller's point, now that we're kind of playing the, what's in our rear view mirror, and we're all staring up at Philly right now.
Right.
I mean, the Niners have a right to continue to win. I mean, at 7-4, they're up by a touchdown on Tua and the Dolphins right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of paying attention to seeding. When we had Lieber on with Coach Kevin O'Connell, emphasizing the idea of getting as many opportunities to play playoff games at home.
Right.
Keeping the 2, I think, is almost as relevant, if not a more important way to frame up that conversation than to hope that Philly loses 2 more games than us. Does that make sense?
Correct. It does. And if and this is the best thing about the way this playoffs is as long as Philly wins, the Cowboys can't catch the Vikings. So they don't have to worry about them, the Giants, or the Commanders.
Well, yeah, only one of them gets to be a division winner.
Correct. So, and none of them, even if their record, because the Cowboys have a better record, might have a better record than the Vikings. If the Vikings go 13-4 and the Cowboys only lose 1 more and they tie them at 13-4, doesn't matter.
They're still a wild card
They can't
team.
jump them. Yeah. So the Bucks at 5-6, they're not. I don't think the Vikings are going to lose 4. And the 49ers at this point, you hope now the 49ers lose 1 or 2.
Although Jimmy G left the game with an ankle injury.
Yeah, and then you could, and I just saw the people tweeted or something when Purdy threw a touchdown because he's the first Mr. Irrelevant to ever throw an NFL touchdown.
Oh, cool.
So Purdy throws a touchdown, and I think everybody's like cheering, like, "How do you like me now?" As if like they have a better replacement for Jimmy G. Like, come on.
Stuart in South Dakota, welcome to Vikings Fan Line.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. My first time on the fan line.
Welcome.
This is kind of one of my comments. I hate to be one of those guys to look forward, and I don't want to look forward, but I'm going to talk about the defense right now. And I think one thing that we've got going on with the defense is I understand that they're taught to try to strip the football, but at that particular point in time, we've lost a lot of our tackling skills. I mean, when you're trying to strip the football on a third and 4, and you're not grabbing those guys around the ankle to try to keep them in the backfield and tackle them in the backfield, I think there's a big problem there. I think go back to basic times. So that's just my personal opinion. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, thanks, Stuart. Tackling was a massive issue, not only in the second half today.
Mm-hmm.
We've brought this up in some ways, maybe in different forms before, where the mentality of constantly trying to go for the strip. That Cards game, Rondale Moore is just going to be tackled by Eric Kendricks, except Kendricks is going for the strip, whiffs, and Rondale heads into the end zone. The tackling issues, and as Stuart would say, getting back to the basics, I think is just another notch in this long, never-ending talker about the defense.
Yeah, and if you watch the way the Jets tackle, they do opposite. They hit you. I forgot what other game I was watching, but somebody else was saying, USC Utah. They're Lincoln Riley. He teaches the same thing. Like his philosophy is the same thing they said people saw at Oklahoma. You're seeing it now at USC. Their DBs go for that same kind of tackle. Like they want to create the turnover, the big play. But yeah, it could come back to bite you. Like if you don't actually get the rip, or if you don't get the peanut punch and you miss, that guy's off to the races.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit more wrapping up. But again, it's a boom or bust type of thought process. Like, hey, try to get the ball. But it's tough to turn that greed off because everybody wants to make the big play versus just getting the tackle sometimes, and it can hurt you. But again, everybody keeps calling in with the same start. We're 10-2, so I'll take it. Hey, that's got to look at that.
No, you definitely have to look at it, but it was just Zonovan Knight, okay?
Yeah.
His friends call him Bam.
Yep.
Undrafted kid, best of luck in all future NFL-related endeavors. But it was so frustrating and irritating to watch him get that first 2 yards and another 4 after contact.
Right.
The yak was insane today.
Yeah.
Every single bit. No first tackler was getting him to the ground. TFLs became gains of 1 and 2. And over the course of a game, again, you give up 486, so maybe it's not something that's even needed to be nitpicked here. But just the yak today was insane, and it was out of control. I mean, Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, if Garrett Wilson doesn't step out of bounds, that's probably a touchdown too. So, yeah.
Well, it was, wasn't it?
No, he stepped out of bounds.
No, he did. I'm just saying, did he get into the end zone before they blew it dead?
Yeah, he did, but then they went back and the other guy was whistling. No, he stepped out. Yeah, so again, he stiff-armed the guy. Another guy missed, missed tackle after missed tackle.
Let's do this. 800-320-5326. 1-800-320-5326. At this point, we are indeed going to let the Vikings radio network enjoy the remainder of their evening. And the next time you hear from us, it's going to be next weekend. It's at Detroit. It is a noon kickoff. Vikings radio network will join at 11. Kickoff shortly after noon. Your 10-2 Vikings in Detroit at Ford Field. Jared Goff, Jamal Williams, and the Detroit Lions. For those of you on hold, we're still taking calls, however. Fan line will continue not only on the free iHeartRadio app, but our flagship 100.3 FM, The Fan, here in Minneapolis. Sean, Brian, Brad, Adam. We're going to have talkbacks and more Vikings conversation. 27-22 the final. Vikings are victorious over the Jets, now 10-2 in the season. This is Vikings Fan Line. You have been listening to KFAN and the Minnesota Vikings Radio Network.
Folks, this is your pilot. We have to land immediately and hurry to the Xfinity Black Friday sale. New Xfinity customers can get 400 megabit internet with unlimited data and X-Fi Complete for $55 a month for 2 years with no annual contract. And a free 4K streaming box included. Plus, now through December 5th, get HBO Max included for a year.
Drop everything and get to the Xfinity Black Friday sale. Go to Xfinity.com to learn more. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Ad-supported plan of HBO Max. After promo, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
Hey, it's Moss. It's so exciting to move, unless, of course, you got to move yourself. That's why I love Two Men in a Truck. Whether you're going cross-country or just down the street, Two Men in a Truck can take the stress out of moving. They also offer fast and efficient junk removal. So wherever life takes you, for home or business, Two Men in a Truck can get you there with fewer headaches. I've known them, I've used them, and they are amazing. Always courteous and professional. So stop stressing. Do yourself a favor and contact Two Men in a Truck for your next move or junk removal. Two Men in a Truck, the movers who care. TB1 Fund and M Health Fairview Masonic Children's Hospital are united with founder Braxton's mission to brighten the days of patients and their families. Let's cheer for Braxton's buddy of the week, Isla. Isla was born 5 weeks early and was unable to breathe due to a blockage. Her life was saved, but more surgeries were in her future, along with a diagnosis of profound hearing loss. Isla continues to tackle challenges with her spunky attitude. Thanks to the NICU and the team at Masonic and Minnesota ALS community, Isla and her family have never felt alone. Learn more about Isla and how you can make a difference at tb1fund.org.
When I started, it was just me and my tools. Now, while my team is out working, I'm running the business. Couldn't do it without Stacy from Choice Bank. Wouldn't have time to pick up the musical Saw either. She put together financing to fuel our growth and a new benefits package for our employees. Stacy saves me loads of money and time. Time I spend making sweet Saw music.
Choice Bank. We're committed to your business, your success, and to you. It's what we mean by people first banking. Go to bankwithchoice.com.
Hey, Minnesota fans, it's Paul Allen. Know what the legendary Purple People Eaters and TimberTech decking have in common? A dominating defense. TimberTech has the durability to hold up against Minnesota weather for decades. Not only will it not rot, warp, or splinter like conventional wood, but it looks more like real wood than any other composite brand. And with up to a 50-year warranty, you're protected season after season. Order free samples at TimberTech.com to see the boards for yourself. TimberTech, everything wood should be.
Football season means tailgating, touchdowns, and cheering for your favorite team. In Minnesota, there are nearly 100 local credit unions with over 300 branches for you to team up with to take your money further. Credit unions stand for community and trust. They keep any profits local and provide members better savings rates. Your teammates own a credit union, and that means you're all working for the same goals. More transparency, more trust will give you more personal financial wins. Visit MinnesotaCreditUnions.org to find your local credit union to take your money further.
Hey, it's Chris Hockey from the Power Trip Morning Show for Olivia Weight Control Centers. This holiday season, give yourself the gift of good health. Why would you wait? Get started on your New Year's goals right now. Join Livia's award-winning program now and save 50%. You could lose up to 10 pounds or more in your first 2 weeks and up to 2 pounds per week thereafter. And with Livia's in-person or virtual visit options, state-of-the-art equipment, and Olivia app to track your progress, you're going to see results fast. More than 10 years ago, I lost 53 pounds. I've kept it off and lost more. This program works. Give yourself the gift of good health and don't wait. Look better, feel healthier, and save 50% when you join the Livia program today. Imagine that New Year's party that you've been planning on going to, walking in wearing smaller sized clothes and feeling even better about yourself. That's what Livia can give you. Visit Livia.com. That's Livea, Livia.com, or call 855-GO-LIVIA. Livia.com or 855-GO-LIVIA. Happy holidays from Livia, voted Minnesota's best weight loss center for the second year in a row.
The Twin Cities home for Vikings talk. FM 100.3 KFAN. The Fan.
Fan Line on iHeartRadio and The Fan are presented by our broadcast partners. Minnesota Credit Union Network, Youngstedts, Carboni's Pizzeria, and by your local Chevy dealers. Join the conversation on Vikings Fan Line by calling 800-320-5326 using the TalkBack feature on the iHeartRadio app or by sending us a message on the KFAN social channels. Now, continuing to take your calls, talkbacks, and social message, this is Vikings Fan Line with Ron Johnson and KFAN's Eric Nordquist.
Hey, 27-22. The final score at U.S. Bank Stadium today. The Minnesota Vikings improved to 10-2 on the 2022 season after handling Mr. Salah's Jets. And very pumped home stretch of this regular season as the Vikings get closer and closer to assuring themselves at least a berth, at least a chip in a chair to the to the NFL playoffs. I'm Nordo from 9 to noon. Ron Johnson is with me. How you doing, Ron?
Good. I'm good. How's it going?
Well, I couldn't be better. Team keeps winning. Still doesn't make sense sometimes, but we absolutely, absolutely love it. We love the Minnesota Wild, who appear to have gotten out alive in the shootout. So they get the 2 points despite giving up 4 third-period goals. What the hell happened in that game?
Did they just have a shootout the other night, too?
Yes, they did.
Man.
Yeah, they won that one, too. So
Vikings and Wild, they're following each other's footsteps. Let's just take it down to the wire. Give the fans their money.
Why not? Manufacture some drama. Your calls, 800-320-5326, 1-800-320-5326. A couple more segments with Ron, and then AJ Mansour is going to be joining for Vikings Overtime, leading you up to Sunday Night Football. I believe it's the Cowboys and the Colts. But first, the talkbacks via the free iHeartRadio app. Max, what do you got over there? I see that you have one about Dalvin not making people miss. Is that accurate?
I don't know if I'm the only one out there, but I feel like Dalvin Cook isn't making people miss anymore. He's turned into a real downhill runner. He used to have like a little shimmy about him that would make the first tackler miss, and now it just feels like when I watch it, it's just kind of, you get what you get, and when he gets touched, he's going down. Just my thoughts, guys.
What do you think, Ron?
I don't know about the shimmy thing. I think he's still making people miss. He's still it's a different, a little bit different run scheme. You know, it's not a true Dalvin Cook is just coming down. It's different. Look at the push toss where Kirk Cousins kind of just pushed it out there like a basketball pass. It's different schemes. At the end of the day, outside zone, inside zone, middle zone, all that stuff is pretty much the same. But it's all about the setup block. If there's a double team inside, who's the guy going to the second level? What's the running back's eye? Is he looking at the tackle's butt and then he's choosing where he's going? Or is he supposed to read the guard? Or is he reading the whole line like Mo Ibrahim does and just picking a hole? we don't really know. So is he going down on the first? No, he's not. Like, don't be a creature of the or captive of the moment. Like, he definitely has made some people miss. You look at the Dolphins game.
Yeah.
Dalvin is Dalvin. He's still legit. I think that's a little bit of a gut reaction to what you just saw, maybe like one or two plays today. But he's definitely making people miss. And today he made some people miss. Like, it is what it is. It's not the same, like, hand it off to Dalvin 40 times a game anymore.
Right.
Like, so he's having to pick and choose his spots.
To the phone lines. Let's jump back in. Vikings fan line. Sean in Indianapolis. Welcome to Vikings fan line, Sean.
Hey, boys, what's going on? Just two quick things here. First off, it's pretty awesome to see the Packers and the Bears just be a steaming hot pile of garbage in the division. Second off, Kirk Cousins. In my opinion, we haven't seen this from him in the past couple of years. We see a few bad drives in the third quarter. We can't expect a touchdown every single drive. But the question is how much of a dog is inside of Kirk Cousins, and how much is he actually going to kill it this year and take us to the Super Bowl? That's all I got, boys.
I appreciate it, Sean. Kirk, the dog in Kirk. Now, for any inadequacies that he has statistically, because statistically it's been a regressive season by the numbers, but we're 10-2, and we're seeing more aggressive moments from the quarterback.
Yeah.
I honestly, with the way he stands in there and takes those hits, I don't question the dog in Kirk. Do you?
No, not at all. I think what you're seeing is a guy that's off the leash. I felt like, he had a real short leash before with coaches, not just here, but before as well. Like, he had a short leash. He explained you like that moment. Some of the media members in Washington not really believing in him, making comments. Some of the front office people, not some, the front office people not wanting to give him. They franchised him twice. So clearly, if you wanted a guy long term, you're going to offer him that contract. So I think he's finally feeling like I'm off the leash now. I have a coach that if I make a mistake, he's not going to berate me. He's not going to make me think that it's my fault we're losing games, so on and so forth. So I think Kevin O'Connell has spoken life into Kirk Cousins. I think he's helped out his mental health tremendously. Again, the fact that Kirk Cousins admitted that on the field they watched the little kid on the screen with the chains and they were laughing in the huddle, that's not something Kirk Cousins would have normally shared.
Right.
That we were laughing in the huddle before a drive started. That's something Kirk would have second guessed telling people. Like, I don't know if people should know that we're having fun out there. Like, it's all about business. Like, these guys are having fun. They're enjoying the moment. Like, you're doing something that 0.00 whatever % of people get to do, which is be a professional football player. So I'm just glad that Kirk Cousins is understanding that now. And I think he's always had the dog in him. You're just seeing him now be able to, show it and have fun with it. And, like I said, he took some huge hits today and got right back up. He grimaced a little bit, but he got right back up. Justin Jefferson, huge hits today, got right back up. So it's infectious. Like, Kirk Cousins doing what he's doing, you see the guys rally around him. Look at the Jets. They had no faith in Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson had more energy going after soccer moms than he did playing football games. And so when you see that and the players aren't really playing for him, they played for Mike White today. At no point did that team quit on Mike White today. And so Zach Wilson is just going to learn. Like, hopefully he's learning. Like, to see, man, I gotta step my game up.
Man, when they scored that touchdown, then I think we responded by going 3 and out, I believe is what it was.
Yeah.
They erupted. We go 3 and out after they scored that touchdown.
Right.
The sideline was on fire.
Yeah.
We kind of saw that, and we talked about it 9 to noon a bunch. The winless Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
When they came in here, and was it Raheem Morris?
Raheem Morris' first game.
He had
Dan
taken
Quinn
over.
Just got fired.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're awful. They're so bad. And this winless group of just generally discontented and untalented jackasses roll into U.S. Bank Stadium in front of nobody.
Yep.
And they are through the freaking roof. Every play, there's chest bumping on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And that energy was there. And we almost got clipped by the Jets today.
Yeah.
Brian.
It was a lot of energy.
Brian in Chaska, welcome to Vikings Fan Line. Brian.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Love the show. Two topics. Number one, I'm having a hell of a time keeping my heart rate down with the season and the Vikings. It's been just, amazing to watch every game. But it's a little different. Like, I've been a Vikings fan for 40 years, and I feel like in 98 and 2009, like I knew we were going to win the game. This year, man, it's a crapshoot. I don't know. It's just a different feeling. Number two, I want to address the narrative of this, third quarter, we never do anything, our offense stalls. I want to remind people that we had, two big plays. The Jefferson drop was a big chunk play, and the Hawkinson overthrow was another big chunk play. Like, who knows what would have happened had one of those two hit, like the butterfly effect. I mean, we might have scored and the game would have been different, but those plays were schemed up. We just missed them, but I don't think it's like a third quarter lull. I just think, stuff happens. But anyways, guys, thanks for the line.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Brian. We can talk about all the dog and everything in Kirk. To that point, he had some awful throws today. So I don't know if that's a function of getting hit or whatnot. That TJ Hawkinson, I'm watching the TV copy, so I don't know what is beyond when he's wide open there.
Right.
But that's a 35-plus yard game.
You talk about that the hideaway route, kind of where you kind of bumped him, and then
and then he went.
Nothing was behind him.
Is that a touchdown?
The cheerleaders.
Oh, come on.
He catches that, he's grabbing pom-poms. Like, there's nothing back there. Like that, like...
He was sailing it on Thielen.
And here's the thing. So if it's third, I think it was like 3rd and 2 at that point or something. If it's 3rd and 2 and you know for a fact you're going for it on 4th down, because like at that moment you kind of knew. Like I think that's why Kevin O'Connell ran that play. Like, look, boom or bust. Let's go for this now, and then I'm going for it on 4th down. At that point, Kirk Cousins has to know I don't need to make a perfect throw. Like I don't have to outthrow. The guy chasing him was a defensive end.
Yeah.
Like all you had to do was just throw it. Like throw it to him. Throw it where he's at.
Right.
Don't throw it past him. Throw it to where he's at, because that defensive end has no idea how to look for a ball. That defensive end was running like just with his head looking straight at TJ Hawkins, like, oh my God, I messed up. Oh my God. Like that guy wasn't thinking about the ball. But again, Kirk, you could see Kirk's face grimace too, and he kind of did the like he knew that was on him. The Justin Jefferson play, ball was behind.
Yeah.
There was two, and I'm excited to watch film on this one because Adam Thielen twice had an out route, but Kirk threw it like a deep corner route. And so I'm wondering, did Adam run the wrong route? Because normally when that happens, like, and I think Sauce Gardner was outside, Justin Jefferson runs a hitch, or whoever's outside runs a hitch. So Sauce knows that combo. Hitch, you have a corner from the slot. So Sauce jammed him and hurried up and was going to get back for a throw. Thielen runs it like an out. Kirk throws it like, hey, that safety's a little bit back. I still can take you away from Sauce. And so I'm wondering, is that fundamentals, like where they're both fundamentally thinking different concepts? Safety over the top, bend it. Safety, like, I got room, take it high. And I don't know, like that, because that happened twice where Thielen's the one on the other sideline away from where the media is, so opposite the Vikings sideline. Again, Thielen runs kind of like more of an out. Kirk throws it kind of like over his back shoulder, like he's thinking you're going to run more of a corner. Thielen has to do a ridiculous circus, stretch out. If he catches it, great, and doesn't get the catch. So that was like the same play, and both happened on 3rd and 6. So it's like Kevin O'Connell is dialing that up. Like, hey, you have this outer corner route on 3rd and 6 because of whatever they're going to give us. And Kirk missed it both times. So, and again, I don't know if it's Kirk's fault or Adam's fault, but yeah, today it was off. It was a little bit off.
Vikings fan line, 800-320-5326, 1-800-320-5326. Ryan, Brad, Carson, Evan, Adam. A couple more segments left of analysis from Ron Johnson. Yours truly, Nordo, from 9 to noon. Vikings win 27-22. We'll be back momentarily right here. Vikings fan line on the Fan Radio Network.
Meat Sauce here for my friends at Window Nation. I'm here with my friend Bob, the general sales manager. Bob, leaking windows is a major problem, right?
Very common is when your window is leaking, the cold air from your AC is actually leaking out. Or even more importantly, during the summer months, the sun actually beating on the glass actually transfers about 76% of that heat, transfers through the glass, forcing your air conditioning to work that much harder.
Thanks, Bob. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and pay nothing until 2025. Find out more at windownation.com.
The holidays are for making memories, and Honda can help. Whether it's hauling presents in a Ridgeline, going sledding in a Pilot, or traveling in a Passport or CRV. Make memories during happy Honda days. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.9% APR on a 2023 Honda CRV, 2.9% APR on a 2022 Passport or 2023 Ridgeline, and a 1.9% APR on a 2022 Pilot.
For great deals, visit your Greater Twin Cities Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details.
We're ready for hard water season at Shields. Assemble your crew, grab your gear, drop that line, and experience the thrill of being out on the ice. Shields has the gear to get you ready. The Shields Ice Fishing Sale runs now through December 11th, which means it's
family love since 1954. Carboni's only uses the freshest ingredients and secret recipes to ensure your family is happy every time. The legacy of two hopeful young Italians is still present in every visit, every exchange, and in every bite. Over 30 locations to choose from. Find yours at carbonis.com.
This holiday, give the people you treasure something they'll treasure. A gift from Shane Company. Our unique jewelry makes a spectacular gift. I'm Tom Shane. One of my favorites is an elegant necklace featuring a colorful east-west gemstone with diamond accents for $250. We offer it in 4 different gemstones, so you can select a color she loves. Choose red garnet, purple amethyst, sky blue topaz, or yellow citrine. Another favorite are diamond huggy earrings for $1,145. I picked these hoops because they fit close to the ear and are great for any occasion. Select either white gold, yellow gold, or rose gold. Our link necklace at $525 is a favorite because the diamond accents give the gold a touch of sparkle. Visit us for more gifts at a great value. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
People like to buy, but they hate to feel sold. When you were a kid, how did it feel when your parents told you to eat your vegetables? Exactly. People don't like to be told what to do. They're programmed to resist sales pitches. At Sandler Training, we help companies grow their sales. We train sales professionals to stop pushing and start pulling prospects towards solutions. That starts with great questions and active listening. To grow your sales, go to salespro.sandler.com, salespro.sandler.com.
At Evans, we know that defense and big stops wins you championships. But when it comes to logistics, moving forward is key. Ben Lieber here for my guys at Evans. If logistics were football, Evans would be an explosive offense, dropping dimes and hitting the gritty. Make Evans your favorite logistics team today. Evans will be your signal caller you can jump on their backs and ride to victory. Get ahead of the competition right now and have a great experience while you're at it. Visit evanstrans.com. Again, evanstrans.com.
The Power Trip Morning Show.
I love them. I don't have to always agree with them, but I love them.
Tomorrow morning beginning at 5:30 on The Fan.
Hey, this is Jeremy in Minneapolis. I'm cool with Donatel's philosophy of bend but don't break defense, but we really got to bend so much, though? Thanks.
Hi, this is Michael in Minneapolis. I was wondering when we're going to start seeing some changes to the Ed Donatel defense and when the backfield is going to start being covered better and not left wide open week after week like it does. Thanks.
Welcome back, Vikings fan line. 27-22 is the final. Vikings improved to 10-2. You listen to some of those talkbacks courtesy of the free iHeart Radio app. You'd think the team lost, but they did not. They did not, as a matter of fact. Now 6-1 or 7-1 on home turf. 6-1, I believe. So another victory and an opportunity next week to make it 11-2, clinch the NFC North with a win over the Lions. Ron Johnson is in studio with me, Nordo, and let's jump to it. 800-320-5326. 1-800-320-5326. Brad in Wisconsin. Welcome to Vikings Fan Line.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. We're 10-2, and I'm stoked about that. My son and I came to the game today, and I came deep from the heart of Packer country, which I love. But the scheme, Coach Donatel, I think people have to remember that he's a scheme coach, and I heard the amoeba defense referred to earlier, and I'm wondering when we reach that point where we get out of the scheme a little bit and start blitzing a little bit more, especially on earlier downs, and dial up that run blitz.
Yeah, I appreciate you listening, Brad. Safe travels back to the heart of Packers country. We've covered it in detail, haven't we, Ron? I mean,
yeah, pretty much.
We're in on more blitzing.
Yep. Defensive coordinators are creatures of habit. Older defensive coordinators are they have habits. Like, they're not going to change. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, younger defensive coordinators, they're a creature of habit, but then they kind of understand, and they want to get better. They want to change up stuff. They steal stuff from other people. That's why the old joke was you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Really? I mean, it's tough. It's tough to turn the reins over to somebody else.
How realistic is it to make significant changes to that philosophy in the midst of a season, however?
It's not. I mean, look at the Lions. They got rid of their DB coach because everybody thought that was a scapegoat, firing. Like, oh, you're going to fire. And look what happened. They're actually winning games. The defensive backs are actually making plays. They're not getting beat. So sometimes when somebody is teaching something fundamentally that does not agree with what the head coach thinks should happen, you're grown-ups. You get fired.
Okay.
You never want to see somebody go, or you get demoted, or somebody else gets elevated within that organization. Say, hey, you're the new, blitz game or pass game coordinator, because they do have pass game defensive coordinators who deal with the pass scenarios. There's ways to do it strategically without, you got Mike Pettin in the building who with the Packers turned up the heat, but again, he's just he's a whatever executive, I don't know how much they're going to give him, but I've seen that where one guy gets fired, the executive moves into that role. It happens.
Adam, excuse me. Let's try talking again. Adam from New Berlin, Wisconsin. Welcome to Vikings Fan Line. My God.
What's up, guys? I was lucky enough to be at the game today, too. From Milwaukee, Wisconsin, made the 4.5-hour trek. First game ever at U.S. Bank Stadium, and I must say that place is incredible, and those fans are electric. So awesome to be there. I've seen games at Lambeau, Ford Field. I was even at Game 6 of the World Series in Houston, but I have never heard anything as loud as that stadium when they're literally handing out earplugs because it's so loud. That place is just insane, and hopefully they make a deep run into the playoffs this year so those fans can watch them at home. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, have a good one, Adam. Thank you.
Yeah.
There we go. Slowly, we always.
I thought that was Cy Amundsen.
We always complain with Vikings fans, like Packers fans have just infiltrated our otherwise nice little metro area here in Minnesota. They have infected us like a virus. It's good to hear that some Vikings fans are doing the same over there as well. Time for a couple more phone calls here. Carson in Apple Valley. Welcome to Vikings Fan Line.
I wanted to point out that the Vikings defense isn't making those tackles. They're not completing the tackles. Like, they get their hands on the guy, but they don't complete the tackles. I'm not expecting the Purple People Eaters all over again, but I just want the completed tackles more often.
I love that opinion, Carson.
How old is Carson?
Wanted to continue the conversation.
The Purple People Eaters. I
was kind of hoping for more insight from Carson. Tremendous. I agree. The team's not tackling very well, but Carson in Apple Valley, let me tell you this. At least Greg Joseph was perfect today.
Yes.
Right? How about that, huh?
Yes, I was a little nervous. Me and Ben were watching them pregame during the Vikings game day live, and he was pushing them right. He pushed like 2 right. So good thing is, though, that's practice. So he figured out what was going on.
Yeah.
Because he did nail like a 51-yarder. When me and Rosie were watching, he nailed a 51-yarder. He nailed a 47, and then I think like a 45.
Right.
So he must have figured it out. Like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So, hey, Today is the one fan line. We don't talk about the kicker.
I mean, there were there were millimeters. I mean, you could take these stacks of papers and put it between the ball and the upright when he nailed that 50-yarder.
Yeah, because we can't
But it counts. That's all that matters.
You've been at the stadium where we sit. You can't tell.
Oh, you have no idea.
Yeah, you can't tell how it just looks like it got pushed right, but you can't tell how close it really was to doinking or. But yeah, it was.
It was close. He flirted with it.
He did doink one during pregame. That's why I was like, oh Lord, come on now. But I mean, imagine if he had missed like 2 extra points.
No,
today.
don't do this to me.
And it was 25-22.
Well, I'll tell you, there'd be a greater variety of phone calls.
They would have kicked the field goal. They went to overtime, and then we'd have been doing overtime.
Oh, God.
Vikings fan line. So he didn't miss them today, though.
That's ridiculous. That's Ron Johnson. I'm Nordo. We're going to take one more quick break, and then I believe fan line will conclude, and Vikings overtime will resume. So one more chance. Evan and Ryan, we'll try to get to your calls on the other side of this. 27-22. Greg Joseph was perfect, so we didn't have to worry about that kind of thing. 27-22 is the final. The Vikings are now 10-2, and this is Vikings Fan Line on the Fan and the Fan Radio Network.
They say a good craftsman never blames their tool, and the best always choose the right one for the job. For the builders and makers of this world, nothing beats knowing you've got what you need to get the project done. Northern Tool is a problem solver's paradise. And with savings of up to 50% off and great new deals dropping every week, we've got the perfect gift for all the solvers on your list. We're made for this. Come see us in store or shop online at northerntool.com.
Brianna is a 24-year member of LIUNA, the Construction Laborers Union.
I am proud to be part of a growing number of women in the union construction trades. I've learned that the work is more about effort and commitment than physical strength. I do all things men do, including working with the 90-pound jackhammer on demolition projects. Being a part of LIUNA has helped me earn great pay and benefits, including a pension and health coverage. I also get free training that has helped me work in every market sector out there, from roads to public buildings to energy. With LIUNA, we're building a better Minnesota.
Visit buildthenorth.org.
Hey, fans of the purple and gold, it's Paul Allen. And if you're sick of trying to tackle your deck maintenance, then rush over to TimberTech. TimberTech looks more like real wood than any other composite brand. And it's tough enough to handle even the harshest Minnesota weather. Want to lock up some protection too? TimberTech offers warranties that give you up to 50 years of coverage. So, if you're ready to build the perfect place to kick back at kickoff this season, visit TimberTech.com to get free samples. TimberTech. Everything wood should be.
Hey, it's Muss for my friends at 2 Men and a Truck. 2 Men and a Truck takes the stress out of moving so you can focus on what's important, your new beginning. Whether it's down the street or across the country, 2 Men and a Truck will be there for all of your moving and junk removal needs. Moving doesn't need to be hard. Let 2 Men and a Truck show you how easy it can be. Get a free quote at 2menandatruck.com. 2 Men and a Truck. The movers who care.
Football season means tailgating, touchdowns, and cheering for your favorite team. In Minnesota, there are nearly 100 local credit unions with over 300 branches for you to team up with to take your money further. Credit unions stand for community and trust. They keep any profits local and provide members better savings rates. Your teammates own a credit union, and that means you're all working for the same goals. More transparency, more trust will give you more personal financial wins. Visit MinnesotaCreditUnions.org to find your local credit union to take your money further.
At Chevy, the holidays mean going places and doing the things you love to do with friends and family. To make new memories on the trails in a Silverado 1500, share new moments with old friends in the Chevy Blazer, and to take the family new places in the Chevy Equinox. Chevy makes it easier to make the most of your time with the people who matter most. Head into your local Chevy dealer first to find your red tag and find your deal. Where you go from there is up to you. Get $500 red tag bonus cash on select popular 2022 and 2023 Chevy models when you find your tag. Visit ChevyRedTag.com for more details. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer. Available toward the purchase or lease of all 2022, 2023 Silverado 1500 and Silverado HD pickups, 2022, 2023 Blazer, Equinox, Traverse, and Malibu models, and 2022 Colorado pickups. Not available with some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 1/3/23.
Hey, it's Meat Sauce for Youngsteads and Youngsteads.com. Here's my friend Ian to tell you all about their holiday deals.
Hey, Meat Sauce. Yeah, our family wants to keep you safe on the road this holiday season. Right now, you can save up to $200 on select set of 4 tires with manufacturer rebates, and you'll get a $100 Youngsteads gift card with the purchase of any set of 4 tires. That's a savings of $300.
And if it's a gift you're looking for, buy a $100 Youngsteads gift card, and they'll give you an additional $20 gift card in return.
And for all other deals, visit Youngsteads.com. Our family taking care of your family since 1971.
Your home for all things purple.
Oh, he's hit and he's sacked!
FM 100.3 KFAN, The Fan.
Fourth and goal from the 1, empty backfield. 2 receivers left, 3 to the right. Braxton Berrios in motion to the left. White takes the snap, looks left, fires to the center, and incomplete! It's incomplete to Braxton Berrios. And the Minnesota Vikings with a goal line stand, this time it'll be official, have turned over the New York Jets on downs. It's 27-22 Minnesota.
Massive moment in the game. 1 of 6 in the red zone were the New York Jets, and that's why they go home 7-5 with a loss. 27-22 the final. Vikings improved to 10-2 and hold serve in the comfy confines and the faithful at U.S. Bank Stadium. Final segment of Vikings Fan Line before we transition to Vikings Overtime. A.J. Mansour is going to hang out with me until right around 6:30 as we transition into coverage of Sunday Night Football. Cowboys and Colts. If you were ballsy enough to take the Colts plus 10.5, you're just hoping Jonathan Taylor runs all over. But this isn't a betting show. It's a fan line show. Ron Johnson's with me. I'm Nordo from 9 to noon. Evan in Minneapolis. Welcome to Vikings Fan Line.
How you fellas doing?
Good, man.
Before
Thank you.
I begin, I just want to say 10-2 feels pretty dang good, doesn't it?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, it does. All right, but I want to get into our weak prevent defense that we play all the time. I think it was 20-6 with 2 minutes left to go in the second quarter, and we play prevent defense, and we give up another field goal, which we've done all season. And I don't know why we still play it. It doesn't even work in Madden, so why would it work in the league?
Hey, thanks, Evan. Have a great one, man. Yeah,
but you know it does work in Madden? The blitz.
I'm running out of things, at least as far as today is concerned, to kind of look at in regard to the defense. Again, 150. There was a recipe for success that took place in the first half hour of this game.
Yeah.
And you get out alive, you go to the break, you've allowed 150 total yards, 20-6, I think is the halftime score. So you're primed and in position to offer up your first true lopsided ass-kicking victory of the season. And they got to play 2 more quarters. 330-some yards of offense allowed in the second half. Nobody figured out how to tackle. We're still playing a lot of off coverage. We saw Duke Shelley back in the game again. Although Duke had a couple of nice plays, Ron.
Really nice.
I mean, it's just he gets burned, doesn't look the part. But then as we get closer to the end zone, Duke suddenly finds like this extra gear. He's been so good specifically in the red zone when he's had to come in now, Caleb Evans. Back in the concussion protocol. And that's just nasty, man. Whether it was Christian Darrisaw, he gets cleared, comes back, gets another concussion. That's awful. Caleb Evans, excited to see him return. And he does, and he plays quite well in some spots. And another collision, and now he's back in the protocol again. So something to watch there. A couple more phone calls quickly before we wrap up Fan Line. Ryan in Anoka, Vikings Fan Line. What's up, man?
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I was just wondering, too, after Kirk's first down run, it looked like he got hit by 2 guys. First guy wrapped him up. Second guy looked like he kind of glanced him, kind of the upper body, shoulder, head area. Just kind of looked different after that if he didn't have, like, somewhat of a concussion. Just seemed like he's playing foggy. Kind of explained his second half, which is totally different.
Okay, yeah. Hey, I appreciate you listening and calling in, Ryan. I assume he was not foggy, otherwise he would have had to be taken out of the game.
Right.
But again, it's just we've seen this now, and as part of again statistical regression for him in this season. But we're winning games. He's making massive plays in the biggest of moments. He had some horrible throws today.
Yeah.
It wasn't
it was
at his
not
best.
good. It was not good throws at all. He had some. Well, you know what? He did have some moments where he zinged some in the Justin Jefferson bobble ball.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like some of the ones we're used to Kirk making that throw, he didn't do it. But again, if early on, if receivers are not in the place he thinks they should be, that could be a little bit of his gun shyness. Like, I don't know. Wait, nope, I should have thrown that.
Okay.
So there's always a reason for it when a quarterback gets in that mindset as the game goes.
Last call of the night goes to Angel in. 2 more calls tonight. Angel and Wayzata, welcome to Vikings Fan Line.
Hello? Hey, I noticed in the Dallas and Philadelphia game, our offensive line, they got crushed like a brown paper bag. And even in today's game where we're doing so many 3-and-outs, I'm thinking the Vikings, because our O-line is, I don't consider them even average. I think they're subpar. We need to start doing more jet sweeps to get the defensive ends and linebackers off of their tee-off, momentum. Otherwise, I don't see us going far in the playoffs. We need to get Reagor and some of our speedsters doing more jet sweeps. I'll let you guys talk about it. Thanks.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And we did see that today. I think both JJ and Jalen and Reagor both had a jet sweep. Mm-hmm. Any thoughts on that as we put a bow on this thing, Ron?
Yeah. Again, who do you take balls from? Where do you take the plays from? This is what I want to see. Screw everything else. This is what I want to see. No huddle. Just come to the line and go no huddle for a good, especially in the third quarter. First quarter, second quarter, seems like the Vikings offense has it set. Third quarter, they've begun stagnant.
Come out with tempo.
Just come out tempo every third quarter moving forward. You got 5 games to work on it to perfect it before the playoffs. Third quarter, just come out and just go absolute balls to the wall. Just let Kirk Cousins call the plays. Let him, let Kirk cook.
Okay.
Let Kirk cook. Like, that's what needs to happen in the third quarter. Like, let him come out there and be the maestro and just like any other person leading a band, let him direct traffic, move guys, motion where he wants them, get to the play that he wants, see what Kirk can do. Because I think that's going to be a recipe for, getting out of that third quarter slump.
What do you think, Kirk? What do you think his style of cooking is? Like at home in the kitchen?
Oh, he doesn't use seasoning.
See, it's probably a little bland at times, right?
Yeah, he doesn't season his chicken. He definitely doesn't wash his chicken because Kevin we already had that with Kevin Foundness. So he just takes the chicken right out of the packaging, throws it on the grill, or throws it right in the oven and just bakes it with nothing on it but a chicken breast. And then, I don't know if he even uses hot sauce. Maybe salt and pepper with a pinch of it though, like Salt Bae.
Yeah,
they did the little, twinkle twinkle. Like that's it. I don't see. I mean, but I could be wrong. Kirk Cousins might be at home like Baby Boy. I don't know if you guys remember the movie Baby Boy with Tyrese and Snoop Dogg. But Vin Rames butt naked in the kitchen with a Viking smock on, cooking with his shirt off, some chains, and a grill. And his wife walks in, just Kirk butt naked, cooking. Like, who knows? I don't know what Kirk does.
Yeah, who knows? Thanks for hanging out.
He cooks. His wife does everything. Julie Cousins does it all.
She handles business. There's no doubt. Thanks for hanging out with me, man.
Appreciate it.
That's Ron Johnson at 3Ron Johnson across the social media landscape. Vikings now 10-2. It's 27-22, the final at US Bank Stadium. Next up, they head to the suddenly plucky Detroit Lions. Ford Field a week from today. It's a noon kickoff. 10 a.m. pregame begins right here on your flagship. Vikings Radio Network joins at 11, and then the boom shortly after noon. Looking forward to that. And thanks so much not only to Max, but Brandon Molesky for producing. Thanks to Ron for all that he does. I'm Nordo from 9 to noon. And everybody have a great night, or continue listening, as from now, or right around the corner, we'll be doing Vikings Overtime. I'm going to sit in the chair, and AJ Mansour is going to join me. We're going to continue to break this thing down. Thanks so much for listening to your home for Vikings football, The Fan. Your home for Wild. Their shootout winners over Dallas. Love all of it. And Vikings Overtime is next right here on KFAN.
I started my power line company with just a few contracts. Rachel from Choice Bank helped me grow my business with equipment financing through the SBA. Now I have more time for line dancing. Rachel helps me reach my goals, from my business to my boot scoot boogie. I'm Lou. I'm a lineman by trade,
Max,
but a line dancer by choice.
Choice Bank. We're committed to your business, your success, and to you. It's what we mean by people first banking. Go to bankwithchoice.com.
The holidays are for making memories, and Honda can help you make them. Whether it's a ski trip in a versatile HR-V, a night out in a sporty Civic, or seeing the lights in a stylish Accord.
Wow.
Make memories during Happy Honda Days. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.9% APR on a 2023 Honda HR-V or 2022 Accord or Civic.
For great deals, visit your Greater Twin Cities Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si.
Football season means tailgating, touchdowns, and cheering for your favorite team. In Minnesota, there are nearly 100 local credit unions with over 300 branches for you to team up with to take your money further. Credit unions stand for community and trust. They keep any profits local and provide members better savings rates. Your teammates own a credit union, and that means you're all working for the same goals. More transparency, more trust will give you more personal financial wins. Visit MinnesotaCreditUnions.org to find your local credit union to take your money further.
Scratch games make the perfect holiday gift. Just like a catchy jingle makes the perfect radio commercial.
Scratch game, it's a ticket, 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 scratch game, it's a ticket, 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 scratch game, it's a ticket, 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 scratch game.
Happy holidays from the Minnesota Lottery. I'm in. Must be 18 or older to play.
Dan Barrero with Mike Bryant of Bradshaw and Bryant. And Mike, I want to talk analytics today.
I thought you were bored with analytics.
I'm fine with them as a tool, certainly a tool to try to convince folks to drive safer.
Well, then you've come to the right place. How about this analytics stat? 4 seconds of eyes off the road can be equal to the length of a football field.
Wow.
Or this, kids, more than anyone else, love to text and drive. 2 seconds of texting makes it 24 times more likely you'll end up in a collision.
That's chilling.
The CDC estimates that 3,000 people die each year while texting or otherwise distracted. With school in session, young drivers are back on the roads, and I'm hoping we can convince them, really all drivers, to put their phones in drive mode and pay attention to the road.
And if the kids or their mom and dad end up in an accident and need representation?
Don't sign anything until you talk to us. We're lawyers, we know the business, and we'll work for you.
One free phone call to Mike gets the whole process started. Just go to MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? We could romance the legal copy. It never gets the attention it deserves. And some lawyer worked real hard on it. So take it away, lawyer.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
Now that was some beautiful legal. Well done, lawyer. Well done.
Hey, it's Guardsy from Bumper to Bumper. Thanks for following The Fan on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at KFAN 1003.
The Fan.
Fourth and 10 from the Vikings 19. Minnesota leads by 5. Za'Darius Smith comes flying up the center. Mike White hit as he throws to the goal stripe, and it's intercepted by Cam Bynum. And that is your ball game. Cam Bynum with the second interception for him this season. Second today for Mike White. Why wouldn't it come down to the wire? Why wouldn't it be a spine jingler? Why wouldn't Mike White be throwing into the end zone trying to win the game? That's 2022 Minnesota Vikings football. And with 10 seconds to go in the game, this time it was Cam Bynum to close festivities, and the Vikings are going to win 27-22.
Vikings overtime on your home for Vikings football, The Fan. It didn't require OT today. 27-22 is the final. The Vikings are 10-2. I'm Nordo from 9 to noon, sticking around after Vikings Fan Line to play in overtime. And joining me now from his humble abode up in Osseo is AJ Mansour, AJ KFAN via Twitter. How you doing, AJ?
Nordo, I'm doing good. My heart and my blood pressure are high and running crazy right now, as Vikings fans are wont to do each and every week, but they eke another one out. There's some good things, some bad things, and lots to talk about. But at the end of the day, I was listening to Fan Line. Everybody who called in said it. They're 10-2, and it feels really good to be 10-2 with a chance to go to Detroit next weekend against the Lions, wrap up the division, and then start looking towards the playoffs and what that's going to look like for this team.
Yeah, it's kind of it's such a weird thing where, in listening to Fan Line, you feel this, and I've been doing a number of these with Ron during the season. It always kind of feels the same, where it's we are 6-2, 7-2, or 8-1, I should say. Buffalo game, that's crazy, creating miracles on the goal line. But then it's, well, this defense is this, the kicker's missing an extra point here, and it's almost like there's lamenting while trying to remind yourself that this team has put itself solidly as the number 2 team in the NFC. It's just kind of balancing those emotions of, quote unquote, enjoying the season per se, but also just like, are you kidding me? Is Mike White going to give up? Is he going to go for 400 on us today? How does that happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's legitimacy to that. And I think also, Norno, you're from Minnesota. You know this. You know what we Minnesota fans do, the fatalism, it just comes natural to us. I think that there is part of it that is just that. Minnesota Vikings fans, Minnesota sports fans just feel like eventually the other shoe is going to drop. And right now we need to remind ourselves that at the end of the day, this is an imperfect football team. But as we continue to watch the league, I don't think there is a perfect football team out there this year. There are some teams that might be better than the Vikings, but I don't think that there are any dominant football teams that you look at it and you say there's no way that the Minnesota Vikings, with the dynamic weapons they have on offense and the bend but don't break, whatever you want to call it, ability to maybe pick up big plays at big times on defense, there's no team that we can look at and can't go out there and beat. So we need to remind ourselves that that's the football team we're dealing with. We're all waiting for this perfect football game to be played. We see the defense play well one game and then the offense plays well, and they kind of have taken turns rotating. We're waiting for this perfect game. It may never come, but at the end of the day, they're doing just enough, scoring enough points and doing enough on defense, coming up with those big plays, bend, don't break, however you want to look at it, to have 10 wins. 10 wins, I think 8 of them are of the one score variety. It's been a crazy fun season, but at the end of the day, there will be playoff football. And that means that the battle-tested Minnesota Vikings, who have won close games, who have seen a dominating defensive front in the Washington Commanders, who have seen a maybe the fastest, hardest hitting defensive all-around team in the New York Jets today, they're learning along the way, and they're getting battle-tested, hopefully, to prepare themselves to play good playoff football.
Yeah, first to the positive, something that we didn't really bring up during Fan Line, but Dalvin Cook today, kind of the conversation with Kevin O'Connell's offense, just like each and every press conference, he almost says the exact same thing. Wish we could have gotten Dalvin started a little bit earlier in this game. You start looking at some statistics and trends. 3rd and 3 or shorter in the first halves of games. The Vikings are nearly a 90% passing team. So you just start thinking, it's like, okay, if you're going to get started, just actually commit to it early on. And they did so today, man. 94 rushing yards in the first half. Kind of sets you up and puts you down that road to that 20-6 advantage. Last couple of games now, committing and being more stubborn about getting the run game going. That's something that I've liked to see.
Yeah, and I like the way that you put that too. It's the run game. It's the entirety of the run game. The Alexander Madison, Justin Jefferson on the sweep. The other things that they're doing. What we haven't really seen this year is that dominating Dalvin Cook game. He's had good games. He had a couple long runs here or there, but it hasn't. The Green Bay Packer game where he scored 3 touchdowns or whatever it was a couple years back. We haven't seen that, and I just don't think that we are going to. I've heard you and PA talk about it, you and Sauce, you and Ron, everybody's kind of mentioned this, that the amalgamation, the morphing of this offense has moved a little bit away from those opportunities for Dalvin to just go off. Clearly, it's not the Adrian Peterson, dominate, hand him the ball every single time of yesteryear, but even Dalvin back in the day, that's gone by the wayside, and I think that's a good thing. It takes a little wear and tear off his body. It gets him involved in the passing game. It spreads the ball around, and at the end of the day, the Vikings had 287 yards of total offense. So for Dalvin to have 86 or something of those, that's not bad at all. I mean, that's almost a third of those that offensive output, and it gives you an opportunity to spread the ball around on a day where Kirk wasn't perfect, the offensive line struggled, and at the end of the day, you still put up 27 points and won a football game.
Yeah, I'm having trouble kind of putting because it's not just that Christian Darrisaw isn't in, that Kirk, for instance, was just getting his ass kicked today, and he had to get the ball out. He floated some passes. Wasn't the most perfect performance you're ever going to want from QB1. But missing Christian Darrisaw, Blake Brandel's in there just doing the best he can. Kirk's had to play kind of tough guy football over the last couple of weeks, and these hits against these defensive fronts that you're mentioning, they have to be adding up, right?
They have to be adding up. We know he's a tough quarterback and he can take the hits and get up. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how tough you are. One of those hits, those violent hits where he had, 3 or 4 of them today, just one of those could hit you in the wrong spot, bruise a rib, crack a rib. We've seen shoulders when you get bodies who are falling on you, big defensive linemen. You have those situations where you just fall the wrong way. It doesn't even have to be the violent hit. It could just be a hit. So I think, obviously, this goes without saying, if we can keep him clean, we're in better shape and we feel comfortable there. What I will say is, Kirk was off today. Kirk was skittish in that first half. It was 12 minutes into the game, I think, before he completed his first pass on the day. He was off a little bit, whether he was getting rid of the ball too quickly or just not on the same page as his receivers. It's hard to tell whose fault this is, but there were 5 or 6, and that's way more than you normally see from Kirk, times where, the ball was thrown to a guy on the sidelines, but it was 2 yards out of bounds. Just completely uncatchable if you want to stay in bounds. Or, he threw it before a break and went to the wrong spot. And whether that's miscommunication or whether that's, the quarterback being off a little bit, mentally skittish, trying to get rid of it quickly, whatever it is, something played into today where Kirk just was not on his game. I think his passer rating was 82 or something, 60% completion rate. All those numbers are below what we are used to seeing from Kirk Cousins, and we know that he can bring to the table. So hopefully it was just, hey, we know that this is a really good defense. Those hits came early, they came often, and when we get to face a different team in Detroit next week, they've got some pieces there, but hopefully he can find a little more comfort. Darisaw can come back. You can have some other pieces that open up some of that opportunity for him just to take a deep breath and play like we know he can play.
That's AJ Mansour, Vikings.com, and he's going to be with me up until 6:30 as we jump into Sunday Night Football coverage, Cowboys and Colts, right here on your home, not only for Vikings football, but for all sports. The Fan. Take a quick break, return. More items to get into from this one. It's Vikings overtime. The Vikings were victorious today, 27-22, and they are now 10-2. A lot of twos up in the mix here. I'm Nordo from 9 to noon. AJ's with me for another 45 minutes. Let's do this thing. Vikings overtime on the Fan.
Maybe it's hair in the sink, or hair on your pillow in the morning, or hair in the shower. All signs your hairline is headed in the wrong direction. When that happened to me, I went to Hair Restoration Institute. I battled back, restored my hairline, and made an investment in my future. Find out why Hair Restoration Institute was named Minnesota's best hair restoration clinic by the Star Tribune. Go to myhairlossclinic.com or call 612-588-HAIR. You can't spell hair without HRI. Go to myhairlossclinic.com or call 612-588-HAIR.
An Oral-B electric toothbrush delivers a professional, purifying clean feeling. So if you want a round brush head inspired by dentists, come and get it. And if you want a brush that cleans 100% better than a regular brush for cleaner teeth and healthier gums, what you waiting for? Oral-B is the brand dentists worldwide use the most. So maybe it's time you come and get it. You get it. Oral-B. Brush like a pro.
Larry Fitzgerald here. If you're like me and have a taste for some slow-smoked Texas barbecue, drop by Dickey's Barbecue in Eagan. Drive-in or take-out, catering, daily specials. Gotta love barbecue. Dickies.com.
Splash, splash, splash. Clear your way this winter with Splash Premium Windshield Washer Fluid. It melts frost and ice like that.
See safely on the road when you apply a little splash.
Find Splash Weather Repel at Walmart.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Metallica in the round. Minneapolis, live from the 50-yard line of U.S. Bank Stadium. Metallica. M72 World Tour. 2 nights, 2 different sets. A no-repeat weekend. Friday, August 16th, 2024. Special guest Pantera and Mammoth WVH. Sunday, August 18th, 2024. Special guest, Five Finger Death Punch and Ice Nine Kills. Get access to preferred tickets with your City card. Get 2-day tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Twice the Rock. Nothing played twice. Metallica in the round and in your face. Presented by Blackened American Whiskey and Liquid Death Mountain Water. Murder your thirst.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Main wreckage on the south side of the tracks. Report of male driver, late 20s, severe injuries.
Copy that.
Can you see the vehicle?
No, it's way up there. I heard a witness say the stop arm was down, but he tried to beat the train anyway.
Too many drivers are killed crossing railroad tracks, even though they know a train is approaching. What they don't know is, even after it breaks, a train can take up to a mile to stop.
Requesting ambulance stretcher to shuttle crash victim back to the road.
Copy.
Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
The Fan.
3rd and 6 from the Jets 10. Kirk out of the shotgun, straight drop, looking to the right, throwing to the right, has a man, and that man is good. Touchdown! He's JJ! And the Vikings have taken a 26-15 lead.
Welcome back. Vikings overtime, 27-22. Vikings improved to 10-2. Cool thing about it is we bring you back here. Thanks for listening to The Fan on a beautiful Sunday. AJ Mansour with me as well. And cool thing about this, we swept the AFC East. How about that? 24-16 over the Miami Dolphins. That weird one in Buffalo. Handled Belichick on Thanksgiving. And then today, it is Salah's Jets that take the L. AJ Mansour, this pass rush. Mike White, regardless of what you might think about his future trajectory in the NFL, he's got a team that's excited, motivated, and playing behind him. That's all well and good. One thing I was a little concerned with was the lack of ability to get consistent pressure on him. We didn't knock him off his spot. We didn't force him into too many bad throws. We did get the 2 interceptions. We do like that. But not getting to Mike White, not affecting quarterbacks via the pass rush, it's kind of becoming a consistent thing.
Yeah, and I think that I'm not trying to think real quick. I think we can probably say specifically, and this is part of the team's struggles in the middle 2 quarters, primarily that 3rd quarter where they lull everybody to sleep and don't do anything. The Vikings came out with a different defensive approach today out of the gates. That first quarter, Ben and Pete were talking about it on air. They were certainly, I know you were privy to some of those conversations off air in between the breaks between those two guys when they talk X's and O's, linebacker to linebacker, coach to coach kind of thing. They were kind of talking about how the Vikings defense, Ed Donatell's defense, was doing some different things out of the gates today. They were blitzing more often than they had the entire season. They were rotating safeties to kind of confuse the coverage and change things up a little bit. And it was working. Clearly, the first quarter was not a good one for the New York Jets. The second quarter wasn't a good one. And then something happened in the 3rd quarter. I don't know if they adjusted the play or if they fell back into that prevent that we've seen them do, or if they just got tired. That seems to be the case there too. And then you fast forward to that 4th quarter when the defense was bending for those big chunk plays, the Garrett Wilson reception down the sidelines, the Bam Knight 48-yard run to get them in position. And then they clamped down and they stopped the team on a 4th and 1. At the goal line, you have those opportunities there where they step up and they do some things. So, yeah, the pass rush hasn't been there all season. I mean, we had 1 sack today, Patrick Jones. I think it was. It was for sure in that first quarter, maybe in that first drive. Something changed a little bit, and I don't know if it's just that they don't have the depth to rotate players in and keep them fresh. That was a big part of the Mike Zimmer defense. It was almost like hockey lines. You're rotating defensive linemen in so that you have fresh legs. Maybe it's not your starters every single time, but you have fresh legs in there. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's the play call. I'm not sure what it is, but it does seem to happen in those middle 2 quarters. So if they can figure something out, we'll go back and watch this tape and say, hey, what we did in that first quarter was working pretty well. Can we sustain that? Maybe we have to wait till we get some bodies back. We got Tomlinson back. Wait till we get Dantzler back, get Zadarius Smith fully healthy. Those sorts of things are going to help all of that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think this is going to be a team where you look at it and say that they're going to get a lot of sacks, but at the same time, I do think that they can impact the play of the quarterback, and they did that early, and then they did that late against Mike White.
One cool thing about this is that we don't have to talk about Greg Joseph today. Like we honestly, and frankly, I feel bad even mentioning him, AJ. No missed kicks, handled things. It was his first. I mean, I think this was his first 50-plus yard field goal that he hit since the 56er against Green Bay week 1. So it's been a while. And he had missed 5 consecutive from beyond 50, from 50 or longer, excuse me. And so not much to say. He's back, I guess.
Right. And again, after last week, again, it didn't cost the game, but it definitely changed the trajectory of the game when they missed the extra point. 2 weeks in a row that happens. All these things are just frustrating. I was ready to kind of start looking at what other options were out there. And the good thing is that, he fixed it today because there's not many options out there. There's a Pittsburgh kicking situation where I think Boswell is coming back from injury, and they have a guy who is filling in pretty admirably who might become available. But beyond that, it's not like there's a Dan Bailey, one of these super uber accurate kickers that just didn't get paid, so he sat out. There's no scenario like that out there. I was writing about it for KFAN.com and for social media this week about whether the Vikings should just start going for 2, every single time. The mathematicians would argue that that's the safer play, and you can do that, and you're going to have at least as many points based on the 50% conversion rate for going for 2 and the 90% kick rate, blah, 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 all these things. But at the end of the day, it's ideal when your kicker goes 5 for 5. You don't have to worry about missed field goals or extra points. That's what we want. Build the confidence. Build on it next week. That's the most important thing for him and for any kicker is do it again next week. And then you're probably going to be out of this little funk that you found yourself in.
Absolutely. That's AJ Mansour at AJKFAN via Twitter. When we come back, more on the Minnesota Vikings, not only the win today, but now projecting forward, kind of in that stage of the season where the doorstep is right in front of us in terms of the NFC North, but so much more going beyond that in the heat of the NFC playoff race, positioning, and so much more with 5 games to go in the regular season. I'm Nordo from 9 to noon. This is Vikings Overtime. Vikings are 10-2, 27-22, the final score, and we will be back with you just momentarily. This is Vikings Overtime on The Fan.
At Chevy, the holidays mean going places and doing the things you love to do with friends and family. To make new memories on the trails in a Silverado 1500, share new moments with old friends in the Chevy Blazer, and to take the family new places in the Chevy Equinox. Chevy makes it easier to make the most of your time with the people who matter most. Head into your local Chevy dealer first to find your red tag and find your deal. Where you go from there is up to you. Get $500 red tag bonus cash on select popular 2022 and 2023 Chevy models when you find your tag. Visit ChevyRedTag.com for more details. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer. Available toward the purchase or lease of all 2022, 2023 Silverado 1500 and Silverado HD pickups, 2022, 2023 Blazer, Equinox, Traverse, and Malibu models, and 2022 Colorado pickups. Not available with some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 1/3/23.
Hi, I'm Braxton and I'm a cancer survivor. I created TB1 Fund to help other patients and families at M Health Fairview Masonic Children's Hospital going through similar life-changing situations. My goal is to provide experiences and day brighteners to help patients stay positive. To learn more about me, my foundation, or to become a teammate, visit tb1fund.org or my Instagram, TeamBrax1. No one fights alone. We got this.
We're ready for hard water season at Shields. Assemble your crew, grab your gear, drop that line, and experience the thrill of being out on the ice. Shields has the gear to get you ready. The Shields Ice Fishing Sale runs now through December 11th, which means it's time to save big on ice houses, electronics, lures, and more. Visit your local Shields or shop online at shields.com and get ready to catch that trophy.
Hey, football fans, it's time to treat your family with a mouth-watering Carboni's Pizza, wings, or a hot hoagie for the game. Carboni's Pizza was voted Best Pizza Twin Cities and has been serving pizza the whole family loves since 1954. Carboni's only uses the freshest ingredients and secret recipes to ensure your family is happy every time. The legacy of two hopeful young Italians is still present in every visit, every exchange, and in every bite. Over 30 locations to choose from. Find yours at carbonis.com.
Football season means tailgating, touchdowns, and cheering for your favorite team. In Minnesota, there are nearly 100 local credit unions with over 300 branches for you to team up with to take your money further. Credit unions stand for community and trust. They keep any profits local and provide members better savings rates. Your teammates own a credit union, and that means you're all working for the same goals. More transparency, more trust will give you more personal financial wins. Visit MinnesotaCreditUnions.org to find your local credit union to take your money further.
It's a new day because COVID vaccines just got a big update. So all the big stuff coming up this fall? Well, now you can say, you bet I'll be there. Because updated COVID vaccines protect against both the original COVID virus and Omicron. And everyone 5 and older can get one. So this is a moment we've all been waiting for.
Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Hey, you got something to say to us? Then say it. Talk back to all of our hosts using the iHeartRadio app when listening to KFAN.
So now it's 1st and 10 from the Jets 14, and Kirk Cousins goes under center. TJ Hawkinson tight into the right. KJ Osborne with one catch, short motion to the left. Jets blitz, handoff, Madison room to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Vikings! It once was said, you live by the blitz and you die by the blitz. Alexander Madison just made them pay. It's 16-3 Minnesota.
Welcome back. Vikings overtime. Vikings 10-2. They've now won 2 in a row. Let's start another win streak. Of course, 7 straight before getting our asses handed to us to the Dallas Cowboys a couple of weeks ago, and now we're back in it with consecutive victories over the New England Patriots, and now 27-22 over the New York Jets. It's Nordo from 9 to noon. Excited to montage and take some calls and celebrate 10-2 radio, as at least one specific announcer calls it. That'll be tomorrow, but right now, continuing Vikings overtime for another half hour here. AJ Mansour joining me, and AJ with Kirk Cousins, and he's always been a polarizing and obvious talker. And I'm just trying to hold off or find other things to talk about other than this defense and how incompetent it has looked at various times. But kind of the idea that Kirk Cousins has regressed statistically. The 3 and outs continue to be a head scratcher on a week to week basis. The head coach has talked about trying to match plays at some points and having trouble doing that in certain circumstances that leads to these 3 and outs. But just kind of your view of a guy that statistically looks worse, but we're winning games, and obviously Kirk has a ton to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the statistics and you can't argue it. On the season, and the season's not done yet. There's still time. I'm looking back since he became a starter. This could potentially be his worst. Right now, it is his worst passer rating, quarterback rating right now of his whole career. So, I mean, you're looking at a guy who's been very efficient, high completion percentages. You're looking at a guy who has been, able to put points on the board, both here in Minnesota and in Washington. He had that 39-game, streak of a touchdown per game that was snapped the other week against Dallas. This is a guy who has oftentimes been on teams that were predicated by the success of the offense. Now, there's still success in this offense. They're just doing it in a different kind of fashion, like you mentioned. So it's tough to knock him, but at the same time, we know what he can be. And when we continue to look at this opportunity for this team to play their best game, Alexander Madison said it today. Harrison Smith said it on the field with Lieber today. They know that they haven't played their best football. And when we sit here on the outside and diagnose that and say those things, that's one thing. But when the team says that as well, and they say it over and over again, there's still more out there, more on the table for this team, more on the table for Kirk that we've seen in the past. We know it exists, and hopefully it comes in those big moments when we need it the most. Kirk you haven't really had to tap on Kirk himself to get these victories because of the way that they're doing it, and this is different from last year, right? Is they're the one with the lead into those final minutes. And a lot of times it's on the defense to clamp down and not let that final score into the other team to go ahead. And then ultimately Kirk to get one first down rather than Kirk to go 75 yards and score a touchdown, which he's done a time or two. But at the same time, it's been more so get us a first down, do this, and it takes the pressure off of him and allows him to do, more of the things that you need to do just to win the game. So, we've always said Kirk is a quarterback that thrives when conditions are perfect, and conditions haven't been perfect this season. Offensive line, all these situations. So at the end of the day, knowing that there is still more in the tank for Kirk Cousins as we get down the stretch and head towards the playoffs, that's an okay thing, I think, in my mind, especially when you look at the consolation being the fact that they're still 10-2.
Well, the thing with Kirk, too, in this offense, so KOC and company roll in here, and it was kind of the idea that you just felt like the way things were being constructed, like this looks like a team that wants to be able to win shootouts. Like I'm watching Kansas City and Cincy get after it right now, and it's 27-24, and the Chiefs just missed a field goal. That's a complete L for those that love the -2.5 in this game. Talking for myself again, damn it. But my point is the ability to keep pace, right? And we haven't been able to say that about this offense at various times. Statistically great, and it's kind of we get out, we're going to win the game. If we start with a lead, certain things got to go our way. Zimmer era was massive complimentary with the defense, but you feel like this offense now, like the muzzle has been removed from number 8. Okay, that's great, but as we look into January and you start to continue having this conversation, like we're able to win these shootouts. I just don't know if we can keep one from happening, if that makes sense. And that is really worrisome. And again, as you were listening to Fan Line, kind of that conversations of the yeah buts. This offense is sweet. Found a way to get JJ in the end zone. It was an absolute grind. Ran the ball well early, but we thought this game was in hand, and suddenly it wasn't.
Right. Yeah, you talk about you tapped on something there too, and the way you can control the game tempo and who's in control. When you look at the Vikings 10 wins and compare them to their 2 losses, the Minnesota Vikings have scored the most first points in a game out of any team in the NFL. Heading into this game, it was 49 when they get a field goal first, so let's call that 52. And unless somebody else, was very close, and I don't know, scored a touchdown and jumped ahead of them, they're still the most points on first score drives in a game, and that allows you to dictate a little bit how the game goes based on getting out early. And we've seen this team, when they do that, they are now 8-0 on the season when they are the first team to score in a game. That's a pretty big sample size there. 8 games, and you've won all of them when you score first. And then you look at their 2 losses. They got blitzed. They got completely taken advantage of on their first drive for the opponent. They scored first points in both Philadelphia and Dallas, and now you're playing catch-up right from the get-go. And we're very clearly learning that this is not a team that is built offensively or defensively to play catch-up or to keep pace in one of those shootout games. So controlling the tempo, controlling time of possession, controlling the scoreboard and scoring first is something that's very important to this team. It always has been, back to the Zimmer era, into the KOC era. It is just the way that this team operates, and maybe it's Kirk, maybe it's the defensive leaders and the Harrison Smiths and Danielle Hunters on the other side. But if they score first and they can control the tempo and kind of dictate how much pressure they're going to bring and what they need to do and what the other team needs to do, they're going to win more games. Now that sounds obvious, right? Any team who scores first would do that, but I think it's detrimental, or it's imperative, let's say, for this team to do so, because we know that they are an imperfect team.
That's AJ Mansour. A couple of segments left. Vikings overtime. Vikings win today. Vikings 10-2. Vikings headed to Ford Field this Sunday. It'll be a nooner a week from today. Pregame starts at 10 on the flagship, 11 o'clock, Vikings Radio Network. You can catch us on that free iHeartRadio app as well. Continuing the conversation, not only looking forward to what's in front of us maybe with Detroit, but what's in front of us, 10,000-foot view of a 10-2 team in a competitive and an imperfect NFC. AJ Mansour with me at AJ KFAN. I'm Nordo, and it's Vikings overtime on the Fan.
The holidays are for making memories, and Honda can help. Whether it's hauling presents in a Ridgeline, going sledding in a Pilot, or traveling in a Passport or CR-V. Make memories during Happy Honda Days. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.9% APR on a 2023 Honda CR-V, 2.9% APR on a 2022 Passport or 2023 Ridgeline, and a 1.9% APR on a 2022 Pilot.
For great deals, visit your Greater Twin Cities Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details.
The Minnesota Vikings and the Minnesota Football Coaches Association are proud to announce the High School Football All-Star Game on Saturday, December 10th at US Bank Stadium. This event celebrates the best players in the state of Minnesota. The stage is set for the 50th High School Football All-Star Game. Tickets start at $8. All proceeds go to the Tackle Cancer Campaign. To purchase tickets, visit Vikings.com/All-Star Game. Vikings.com/All-Star Game.
Hey, Minnesota fans, it's Paul Allen. Know what the legendary Purple People Eaters and TimberTech decking have in common? A dominating defense. TimberTech has the durability to hold up against Minnesota weather for decades. Not only will it not rot, warp, or splinter like conventional wood, but it looks more like real wood than any other composite brand. And with up to a 50-year warranty, you're protected season after season. Order free samples at TimberTech.com to see the boards for yourself. TimberTech, everything wood should be.
Rock and country music's hardest hitters join forces. Five-Finger Death Punch. Brantley Gilbert. With special guest Corey Marks. This Monday, Target Center.
I'm a son of the dirty South.
On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Five-Finger Death Punch's new album, Afterlife, out now. Presented by K102. K102.
Folks, this is your pilot. We have to land immediately and hurry to the Xfinity Black Friday sale. New Xfinity customers can get 400 megabit internet with unlimited data and X-Fi Complete for $55 a month for 2 years with no annual contract. And a free 4K streaming box included. Plus, now through December 5th, get HBO Max included for a year.
Drop everything and get to the Xfinity Black Friday sale. Go to Xfinity.com to learn more. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Ad-supported plan of HBO Max. After promo, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
At Evans, we know that defense and big stops wins you championships. But when it comes to logistics, moving forward is key. Ben Lieber here for my guys at Evans. If logistics were football, Evans would be an explosive offense dropping dimes and hitting the gritty. Make Evans your favorite logistics team today. Evans will be your signal caller you can jump on their backs and ride to victory. Get ahead of the competition right now and have a great experience while you're at it. Visit evanstrans.com. Again, evanstrans.com.
What makes Amazon Pharmacy Amazon Pharmacy? There's transparent pricing, so you know what you'll pay before you pay it. And Prime members can save up to 80% on prescriptions. Pharmacists can answer all your questions and can even transfer your prescriptions for you. All of this delivered directly to your door. It is Amazon Pharmacy, after all. Save time, save money, stay healthy. Learn more at amazon.com/sports22. That's amazon.com/sports22. Average savings based on usage and inside RX data as compared to cash prices. Average savings for all generics are 78%, 37% for select brand medications. Restrictions apply.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. It looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
The Twin Cities home for Vikings talk. FM 100.3 KFAN. The Fan.
Out of the shotgun. Play action on first down. He's going to shoot one deep, and it's going to go to Jalen Reagor at the 23-yard line. Reagor saw the ball when he was at the 20, turned around and came back to get it at the 24. That's a 38-yard connection to Jalen Reagor.
Welcome back, Vikings Overtime. Nordo from 9 to noon here. AJ Mansour with me as well. Whether it's KFAN.com, you see him all over our social, does a million things for us, and we adore him. He joins me now. AJ, first season for Kevin O'Connell. Now we're 12 games into it. Maybe we projected or thought or felt like, what this season could look like. In the end, 10 victories in your first 12 games isn't bad. How do you think he's handled the play calling duties? We've seen other new head coaches like Brian Daboll and some others. They've handed off play calling when they were known as play callers. And Kevin O'Connell has taken this on while trying to keep everything else organized and do what head coaches have to do. And, I think he's handled it quite nicely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can say anything otherwise, right? I mean, they've had success with the wins, they've had success with the numbers and the statistics. One thing that stands out to me, and it continues to do so, is he hasn't had a moment where the situation has just seemed too big for him. I mean, even with Mike Zimmer, who had not had the head coaching experience, but had been a high-level assistant for years and years and years with the Cincinnati Bengals, worked his way up through Dallas, had lots of experience under his belt in the league, had to come in and sit down with Rick Spielman and go over this. You remember they went over like the pseudo like game management kind of scenarios, and Spielman kind of tested him and said, okay, here's the situation. It's 4th and this and the time clock here, and it doesn't get out of bounds. What do you do? Call a timeout or no? They went through that, and he had to kind of learn that. And there has not been a moment where it has felt like O'Connell has needed that. Right. Yeah. I think the leadership is a little different with Kwesi and all those things. But at the same time, we're not sitting here crabbing about time management, clock management. They have a person who handles that on the staff. I think some of these new age tendencies and things that the coaching staffs around the league do that they have implemented here are helping. The only thing that we hear on a regular basis is Ed Donatel, right? I mean, and that just might be a transition to a 3-4. It might be there's not the personnel to fully run this 3-4. It might just be that they're not doing great. They're not playing well right now. So all these things there. But when you talk about Kevin O'Connell, I love the leadership style. I love the vibe that it seems like he has with his players. Watching him mic'd up, was it last week when they mic'd him up? I mean, that was fascinating. Like, I just love the vibe that he has brought to this team. And as much as we can like Kwesi and what he does behind the scenes and the collaboration and all these things, the face of it right now in season is Kevin O'Connell. And there's nobody who could argue that this team does not have a breath of fresh air, and it's turning into wins. So I don't see how you could look at this. I think he needs to be in the conversation for Coach of the Year. There's some other good candidates out there that might be ahead of him, but at the end of the day, this is a gigantic turnaround. For what does PA call it? It wasn't a full rebuild, but it was a
rebuild with talent, I think.
Rebuild with talent. That's exactly what it
or
was.
Or redo with talent.
He picked it up and ran with it, so it feels good.
Yeah, absolutely. That's AJ Mansour. One more segment to go. I want to look ahead for the 10-2 Vikings as they face the Detroit Lions at Ford Field. Lions put 40 on the Jaguars today. I'm not saying the Jaguars are some sort of Super Bowl contending entity, but they're figuring it out, and they're plucky, and they're weird, and they can win games, maybe even this one next Sunday. So we're going to get into that final segment. The Vikings win 27-22 over the Jets. Elsewhere in the NFL, late games, as I mentioned, Cincinnati drawing the clock outs 27-24 at the 2-minute warning. The Raiders up by a touchdown on the Chargers right now in the 7-02. And Miami, a team that is in our rearview mirror and a lot closer than anyone thinks, they just are about to improve to 8-4. They are beating the bleep out of the Miami Dolphins. Seattle continues to win, too. They beat the Rams 27-23. When we return, final segment, Vikings Overtime on the Fan.
I've always loved bird calling. My grandpa and I, chirp, chirp, chirp. But when I took over the pet store, tweet, tweet, I didn't have the time until I met Justin from Choice Bank. He set me up with cash management processes and employee benefits that saved me money and time. So much time. People call me Phyllis the cuckoo bird woman. They're so funny.
Choice Bank. We're committed to your business, your success, and to you. It's what we mean by people first banking. Go to bankwithchoice.com. Choice Bank is member FDIC.
Approaching the end of football season and basketball and hockey are in full swing. What more do you want? You can make money with your mind. You can put your money on the table and formulate opinions and hopefully win when you head to the FanDuel Sportsbook inside Diamond Joe Worth Casino. Here's the deal. Bet, watch, and win on football, basketball, hockey, soccer, so much taking place, and you can do it all season, and once again, sports from all over the world. So enjoy your favorite games with 20 self-service betting kiosks, big screen TVs, and awesome food and drinks at the FanDuel Sportsbook inside Diamond Joe Worth Casino, 90 minutes south of these cities. FanDuel.com/playwell, 21 plus and present in Iowa. Gambling problem? 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Football season means tailgating, touchdowns, and cheering for your favorite team. In Minnesota, there are nearly 100 local credit unions with over 300 branches for you to team up with to take your money further. Credit unions stand for community and trust. They keep any profits local and provide members better savings rates. Your teammates own a credit union, and that means you're all working for the same goals. More transparency, more trust will give you more personal financial wins. Visit MinnesotaCreditUnions.org to find your local credit union to take your money further.
At Chevy, the holidays mean going places and doing the things you love to do with friends and family. To make new memories on the trails in a Silverado 1500, share new moments with old friends in the Chevy Blazer, and to take the family new places in the Chevy Equinox. Chevy makes it easier to make the most of your time with the people who matter most. Head into your local Chevy dealer first to find your red tag and find your deal. Where you go from there is up to you. Get $500 red tag bonus cash on select popular 2022 and 2023 Chevy models when you find your tag. Visit ChevyRedTag.com for more details. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer. Available toward the purchase or lease of all 2022, 2023 Silverado 1500 and Silverado HD pickups, 2022, 2023 Blazer, Equinox, Traverse, and Malibu models, and 2022 Colorado pickups. Not available with some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 1/3/23.
Hey, football fans, it's time to treat your family with a mouth-watering Carboni's Pizza, wings, or a hot hoagie for the game. Carboni's Pizza was voted Best Pizza Twin Cities and has been serving pizza the whole family loves since 1954. Carboni's only uses the freshest ingredients and secret recipes to ensure your family is happy every time. The legacy of two hopeful young Italians is still present in every visit, every exchange, and in every bite. Over 30 locations to choose from. Find yours at carbonis.com.
We're ready for hard water season at Shields. Assemble your crew, grab your gear, drop that line, and experience the thrill of being out on the ice. Shields has the gear to get you ready. The Shields Ice Fishing Sale runs now through December 11th, which means it's time to save big on ice houses, electronics, lures, and more. Visit your local Shields or shop online at shields.com and get ready to catch that trophy.
At Evans, we know that defense and big stops wins you championships. But when it comes to logistics, moving forward is key. Ben Lieber here for my guys at Evans. If logistics were football, Evans would be an explosive offense, dropping dimes and hitting the gritty. Make Evans your favorite logistics team today. Evans will be your signal caller you can jump on their backs and ride to victory. Get ahead of the competition right now and have a great experience while you're at it. Visit evanstrans.com. Again, evanstrans.com.
Metallica in the round. Minneapolis, live from the 50-yard line of U.S. Bank Stadium. Metallica. M72 World Tour. 2 nights, 2 different sets. A no-repeat weekend. Friday, August 16th, 2024. Special guest, Pantera and Mammoth WVH. Sunday, August 18th, 2024. Special guest, Five Finger Death Punch and Ice Nine Kills. Get access to preferred tickets with your city card. Get 2-day tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Twice the Rock. Nothing played twice. Metallica in the round and in your face. Whiskey and Liquid Death Mountain Water. Murder your thirst.
Progressive Snapshot can save you money based on how you drive and how much you drive. So the safer you drive, the more money you could save. Now, if you didn't hear that because you were yelling at another car while driving, let me say it again.
You need to calm down.
Yelling is just making everyone as stressed out as you are and letting them all know that you definitely aren't trying to save with Progressive Snapshot. And if you did hear it the first time because you weren't yelling at another car, nice work. You'd love Snapshot from Progressive because it rewards safe drivers. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California and North Carolina or from all agents.
Every Minnesota Wild game can be heard on FM 100.3 and the iHeartRadio app for free. No subscription needed to listen to The Fan.
Welcome back. Final segment, Vikings overtime. It's Nordo from 9 to noon. Vikings victorious 27-22 is the final. Jets fall to 7-5. They're still trying to scratch and claw their way into playoff prominence. Vikings, on the other hand, currently the second seed and 2 games ahead of the San Francisco 49ers. AJ Mansour joins me just a few minutes here, and then we send you on to Sunday Night Football. The Lions are hosting us this next weekend here, AJ, and again, they put 40 on the Jaguars, 40-14 the final. The Detroit Lions, who everyone fell in love with during Hard Knocks and everything, they've started to look like they belong, and they're winning some games. And Jared Goff isn't awful. They can run the hell out of the ball with Swift and Jamal Williams, and Amon-Ra St. Brown's good. Like this isn't going to be a cakewalk, as none of these games, it feels like, have been all year.
Right. Yeah, no, it's going to be a tough game next week. There's going to be probably a lot of points scored. They put up 437 yards today. You mentioned Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the league right now. And at the same time, they're getting DeAndre Swift to be fully healthy and Jamal Williams, who's just a touchdown machine on the ground. So they have the two-headed running attack. They also get that rookie wide receiver, Jamison Williams, back. He didn't do much today. They kind of slow rolled him in there. He hasn't seen any time, but it's only a matter of time before he has a part of that game plan. So this is not your same old Lions that we know and love from years past, the Vikings domination, but they do have tendencies to melt down. So you need to take advantage of those opportunities. The defense needs to step up. When the turnovers are available, you need to take them, and that's how you're going to win that game.
What's cooking on KFAN.com as we approach Sunday Eve into the work week?
Yeah, full coverage. I mean, we'll have everything at KFAN.com, but we're putting a lot of attention, Nordo, as you know this, into our Instagram and our TikTok accounts. So if you don't follow KFAN on Instagram and TikTok, it's at KFAN1003. That's where you're going to get all the fun stuff. So check that out. We're having a lot of fun with it, and it's been successful, and we're growing really quick. So it's good stuff.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with me on Vikings Overtime. Do continue doing a great job. I appreciate it. Have a good night, my man.
You too, man. Go get some rest. It's been a long day for you.
AJ Mansour at AJKFAN. Vikings are 10-2, and as we mentioned, next up, it's a nooner in Detroit at Ford Field. The Lions are 5-7. Vikings 10-2, trying to notch another win on that belt and secure that 2 seed in the NFC playoffs. 10 a.m. pregame right here on your flagship host of the Vikings, 100.3 FM, The Fan. Vikings Radio Network joins at 11 and kickoff shortly after noon. Let's party. Montaging, calls, and everything tomorrow, 9 to noon, and throughout the day. Coverage starting with the Power Trip. Weekly guest Adam Thielen in the mix. Thanks for listening to your home for Vikings football, The Fan. Have a great night, everybody.
Maybe it's hair in the sink or hair on your pillow